deadly mobile game. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1. New Dad, tell me the truth. Is this child yours? The head teacher looked at him sternly. No, I picked her up from the snow. Jin Ke shook his head. I saw him pick her up from the snow that day. The pretty girl also shook her head. Okay, I'll call the welfare home and ask them to take the child away. The head teacher picked up the phone. No, no. Jin Ke grabbed the head teacher's arm, and the girl reached out and grabbed the head teacher's phone. What's wrong with you two? You are still high school students, and you are not qualified to adopt a child. If she is not yours, of course you can only hand her over to the welfare home. The head teacher looked at Jin Ke and the girl angrily. Xue'er is my daughter. She can't be handed over to the welfare home. The girl blushed and bit her lips and suddenly agreed. Jin Ke looked at the girl in surprise. Can you admit such a thing casually? You gave birth to her? When did you give birth? Why didn't I see you get pregnant? The head teacher looked at the girl suspiciously. I got pregnant last winter. I was wearing a thick coat so you couldn't tell. I gave birth during winter vacation. The girl lowered her head and her voice became smaller and smaller. Then, who is the father of the child? The head teacher continued to question the girl with a sullen face. It apostrophe s. him. The girl pointed at Jin Ke. Me? Jin Ke was stunned. He had never even touched a girl's hand in his life. And he was going to be a father? It was you? The head teacher looked at Jin Ke with an expression of disbelief. No. Jin Ke was about to deny it, but was kicked in the calf by the girl. Okay, it was me. Jin Ke had to admit it. He couldn't let Xue'er be taken away by the welfare home, could he? Is it true? The head teacher confirmed with Jin Ke. Yes. Jin Ke nodded firmly. The girl admitted it. So what was there for him, a grown man, to be afraid of? Okay, I will contact your parents and take the child and you two to do a paternity test. If the child is not yours, I will notify the welfare home to take her away. If it is confirmed that it is yours, according to the school rules, you will most likely be expelled. The head teacher announced a few words with a stern face. Not good, Jin Ke and the girl said in unison. You can leave. The head teacher stood up with a stern face after collecting his things. The beautiful girl is named Luo Ye. Her family is very rich. She is the school belle of No. 1 middle school. Luo Ye is very good at dancing. When she was a freshman in high school, she performed a self-composed ancient-style dance Peach Blossom Falling and amazed everyone. She became the goddess in the hearts of all the boys in No. 1 middle school overnight. Jin Ke is an orphan who lives alone. He earns his living expenses and tuition by writing game novels in his spare time. Jin Ke and the school belle Luo Ye have been in the same class for more than a year without saying a few words. The two people who were originally not related at all, until one day after school, they accidentally met. It was snowing heavily that day. Jin Ke was walking in the snow with great difficulty. Suddenly, he heard a baby crying not far away. Following the cry, Jin Ke found a baby girl in the snow. The baby girl was still in her cradle. She had nothing beside her except a Xiaomi phone that could not be turned on and had no SIM card. It was unknown which cruel parents had abandoned her here. Luo Ye, who was passing by, was also attracted by the cry and walked over to see the baby girl in the snow. It was very cold in the snow. The baby was almost frozen and looked very hungry. Jin Ke's home was nearby, so Jin Ke decided to take her home to warm her up first. Luo Ye bought a can of milk powder and sent it to Jin Ke's home. After he arrived, he found that there was no milk bottle, so he went to buy a milk bottle. After buying the milk bottle, the two of them hurriedly fed the baby milk. Then they found that there were no diapers and not enough clothes, so Luo Ye went out to buy all those things and sent them over. After feeding the baby, dressing warmly, and changing the diaper, it was almost 10 o'clock in the evening. The next day was Sunday, and the two discussed sending the baby to an orphanage the next day. But the next morning, after Luo Ye got up, he happened to see a news report saying that the children in the orphanage were very unhappy, and the reporter's interview was shocking. Luo Ye was so scared that he quickly called Jin Ke and asked him not to send the baby to the orphanage until she went over to discuss it. After breakfast, Luo Ye rushed to Jin's house. While the two were busy taking care of the baby, they searched the internet and found that the reports about the orphanage were almost all negative. So the question of whether to send the baby to the orphanage made the two extremely entangled. There was no name or other information around the baby, and the mobile phone in the swaddling clothes could not be charged or turned on when connected to the charger. Considering that the baby was picked up in the snow, Luo Ye decided to name her Xue'er, and named her Luozu after her surname. The two took care of Xue'er for the whole day. When Luo Ye was ready to go home at around 10 o'clock in the evening, Xue'er had already begun to show a strong sense of dependence on her. Of course, it might also be Luo Ye's own feeling. Anyway, she couldn't bear to leave Xue'er in her heart. Considering that Jin Ke was the only one living at home, Luo Ye asked Jin to take Xue'er in temporarily and talk about other things later. She knew that Jin Ke was an orphan and had little money, so Xue'er's milk powder, clothes, diapers, baby carriage, all the expenses were borne by her. In the days that followed, the two went to school while secretly taking time to feed Xue'er. Xue'er seemed to know that the two were going to school, sleeping during the day, and waking up to feed and play after the two came back. The two who had never raised a baby did not know that Xue'er was different from other babies, and thought that babies were like this. Babies cannot be raised casually. As long as they are raised for a few days, they will develop a very deep affection. After a while, Jin Ke and Luo Ye's feelings for Xue'er became deeper and deeper, and they fell deeper and deeper into this pit. Later, the two no longer considered sending Xue'er to an orphanage or somewhere else. As for how to deal with her in the future, they didn't know and didn't want to think about it. Jin Ke and Luo Ye both have relatively introverted personalities and don't have many friends around them. They kept Xue'er's affairs very secret and didn't mention it to any classmates. 3 months later, everything was fine and no one knew that they had adopted a baby, until one day. There was a boy in Yunfen No. 1 middle school who was tall and handsome. His family conditions were also very good, and there were many admirers and pursuers around him. The tall, rich and handsome boy had a special liking for the school beauty Luo Ye. He was rejected many times but still remained infatuated. This caused dissatisfaction from a girl. The girl regarded Luo Ye as her rival in love and secretly followed Luo Ye. She accidentally discovered the secret of Luo Ye and Jin Ke. She thought this was a good way to discredit Luo Ye, so she found a way to secretly take pictures and posted them anonymously on the school forum. As a result, the news that the school beauty Luo Ye and Jin Ke had a private marriage and had a child spread throughout the school. Jin Ke has always been a very low-key person. Many students in the school don't know him. However, because of the rumor that he had a secret marriage with the school beauty Luo Ye and had a child, Jin Ke became famous overnight. No matter where he went, people would point fingers at him behind his back. When the news reached the ears of the school leaders, there was a scene where the head teacher called Luo Ye and Jin Ke for questioning. In order to prevent Xue'er from being taken away by the welfare home and being abused by strangers, Luo Ye recognized Xue'er as her child regardless of the consequences, and the child was born to her and Jin Ke. As a man, Jin Ke had no choice but to accept it all. At the age of 17, he is already a new dad. Chapter 2 Cell phone ringtones. What should I do? What should I do? They are going to take Xue'er away. Luo Ye followed Jin Ke back to his home, hugging Xue'er, and her eyes were red with anxiety. In the past 3 months, she has been thinking about Xue'er all the time. She and Xue'er have established a very deep relationship. It is not an exaggeration to call it a mother-daughter relationship. If someone wants to take Xue'er away, it will be more painful than killing her. Jin Ke looked at Luo Ye without saying anything. In a way, this beautiful girl in front of him has been with him for 3 months. There has never been any topic of affection and love between the two, but it is impossible to say that Jin Ke has no other thoughts about this kind-hearted and beautiful school belle. There is no other reason why Luo Ye, the beautiful school belle, can appear in his simple and broken house, just because of Xue'er. If Xue'er is taken away, she will probably never appear here again. Luo Ye is not only beautiful, good at dancing, and has good academic performance, but also has a good personality. She is the most ideal candidate for a wife. The most important thing is that in the past 3 months, Jin Ke's feelings for Xue'er have become no different from those between father and daughter. In Jin Ke's heart, the two of them are like his family. If Xue'er is forcibly taken away, it means that this family is forcibly torn apart, which Jin Ke absolutely cannot accept. What should I do? Speak. Luo Ye looked at Jin Ke anxiously. She was actually a person who didn't have many ideas in her bones. In the 3 months of raising Xue'er with Jin Ke, she had become accustomed to following Jin Ke's arrangements for all matters concerning Xue'er. I will take Xue'er away tonight, to a place where no one can find her, Jin Ke decided. Academics and other things are not important to him. Xue'er is the most important. For her, he can do anything. Where are you going? Luo Ye lowered her head and buried her face in Xue'er's little face. Xue'er babbled and stretched out her little hand to touch Luo Ye's face, leaving a few red marks on Luo Ye's cheek. But Luo Ye was completely unaware. Go to Huang City, find a place that is close to the urban and rural areas to rent a house, right, and support Xue'er at the same time. Jin couldn't think too much at the moment. Jin is very talented in game operation and is a game master. He has been writing novels for more than 2 years, and they are all game novels. In them, he has his own operation skills and experience in various games. Over the past 2 years, he has accumulated some readers. Although he is a very bad writer, the current market for online novels is good. If he works hard to write more words every month, it will be no problem to earn 3,000 to 5,000 yuan a month to support himself and Xue'er. If he doesn't go to school and concentrates on writing, he will definitely earn more than before. Go to Huang City? What if I want to see Xue'er in the future? And what about your studies? Luo Ye's expression became gloomy again. You can take a bus to see her. As for my studies, for Xue'er, some sacrifices are worth it. Jin Ke looked at Luo Ye. He really hoped that he could have super strength now, and the ability to protect her, Xue'er, and this family, but he was only a 17-year-old student. My family may be willing to adopt Xue'er, but in the future, they will definitely prevent you and me from meeting. And Xue'er? Luo Ye hesitated and asked Jin Ke. With her brother's personality, after knowing this, he would probably give Jin Ke some of money, take Xue'er away, and never allow Jin to get close to her and Xue'er. Xue'er is my daughter, and no one can take Xue'er away from me. Jin Ke's face darkened. He only had a good impression of Luo Ye, but for Xue'er, it had become a family relationship in the past few months. If the Luo family really came to him, he could promise not to meet Luo Ye from then on, but it was absolutely impossible to take Xue'er away. Well, don't rush to take Xue'er away. Wait until I get home and talk to my family. If I can convince them, maybe I can let you stay with Xue'er. Luo Ye was a little hesitant. Jin Ke didn't say anything. He felt that this matter might not be so easy. Luo Ye's cell phone rang. After seeing the number, she became a little nervous. Brother, are you downstairs? Luo Ye put Xue'er down and walked to the window. He looked downstairs. A military SUV with a very sturdy appearance was parked downstairs. A man in a black suit was holding a mobile phone and looking up. The man's name was Luo Ye, Luo Ye's brother. Are you coming down, or should I go up? Luo Ye asked Luo Ye on the phone. His tone seemed very angry. Don't come up, I'll go down. Give me a few minutes. Luo Ye quickly answered Luo Ye. If you don't come down in 5 minutes, I'll go up. Luo Ye hung up the phone. Xue'er. Luo Ye put down the phone and hugged Xue'er again, tears in his eyes. Xue'er didn't know what happened, and looked at Luo Ye in tears with a confused expression. Go back and have a good talk with your family. Don't worry too much. I will take good care of her. Jin comforted Luo Ye. My account has been frozen by my family. I will find another way to get money to transfer to you. You must take good care of Xue'er. Luo Ye couldn't stop crying. Your family will definitely put a lot of pressure on you for this matter. You should take care of yourself first. I will find a way to make money and won't let Xue'er suffer. Jin shook his head. Thank you. Xue'er is in your hands. Luo Ye handed Xue'er to Jin's arms. Xue'er stared at Luo Ye with a pair of big eyes. Perhaps she felt Luo Ye's sadness, and she also seemed a little uneasy. Take care of yourself, don't talk back to your family, explain the whole story to them, and believe that they are all reasonable people. Jin also told Luo Ye a few words. Wait for my news. It's 6 o'clock now. If I haven't called you before 8 o'clock in the evening, it means that I may not have reached an agreement with my family, or even be controlled by them. You should take Xue'er away and hide for a while. Luo Ye calmed down and told Jin Ke a few words. Don't worry about Xue'er. Don't quarrel with your family, and don't think about it no matter what happens. I'll wait for your news. If you don't call me by 8 o'clock, I will take Xue'er away. Jin Ke nodded. Luo Ye shed tears and looked at Xue'er reluctantly. When he walked to the door, he rushed back and reached out to hug Xue'er in Jin Ke's arms, but accidentally hugged Jin Ke together. Jin Ke's body trembled inexplicably. This was also the closest thing Luo Ye had done to him in the past 3 months of family. Of course, it might be a mistake. Xue'er, Mom will definitely find a way to keep you. Xue'er must be strong. Xue'er must be fine. Luo Ye kissed Xue'er's face again and again, then turned around and walked to the door again, forcing himself not to look back, then closed the door and rushed downstairs. Looking at Luo Ye's disappearing back, Jin Ke felt lost in his heart. All the bits and pieces of the past 3 months came to his mind. It was difficult for Luo Ye to convince his family about this matter. The happiness of the 3 of them together was probably over at this moment. He and Xue'er would have to embark on a journey of escape in the middle of the night. Once he and Xue'er fled to other places, they didn't know when they would see Luo Ye again. Xue'er seemed to feel something and cried in Jin Ke's arms. Jin coaxed her for a long time before she calmed down. Jin Ke set an alarm on his mobile phone and set it for 8 o'clock in the evening. If Luo Ye didn't call him by then, he would have to leave. Otherwise he would not only lose Luo Ye, but also Xue'er, a result he absolutely could not accept. Jin Ke collected Xue'er's clothes, diapers, milk powder, and bottles one by one and put them into a big bag. Just when he finished, a cell phone rang. Jin Ke was stunned. It was obvious that the ringtone was not his. Chapter 3. The main job is playing mobile games. Jin Ke soon confirmed where the ringtone came from. It turned out to be the Xiaomi phone that was turned off and had no SIM card in Xue'er's swaddling clothes when he found her in the snow. It was a very ordinary Redmi Note 4X phone. In order to find out Xue'er's life experience, Jin Ke took this phone to Xiaomi's official repair shop for repair. As a result, the repair shop staff said that they could not find the ID of this phone and thought it was a counterfeit phone. It was not within their repair range unless Jin Ke showed the purchase invoice. Jin Ke said that he would pay for the repair. After the technicians used special equipment to check it, they thought that the motherboard and chip inside were all damaged and there was no repair value at all. After changing several shops and saying that they could not repair it, Jin Ke did not try again. After returning home, he stored the phone in a cardboard box with Xue'er's swaddling clothes and other things. I really didn't expect that this phone would automatically turn on tonight and ring. Jin Ke put Xue'er on the crib, then walked to the wall, opened the cardboard box, and picked up the ringing phone. When he got the phone in his hand, the screen was on, but the ringing stopped. He checked the phone icon, but there were no missed calls. A phone without a SIM card should not have any incoming calls, right? This is too weird. Just as Jin Ke was studying the Xiaomi phone, Xue'er's laughter suddenly came from behind him. Jin Ke was caught off guard and was startled. He turned his head suddenly and vaguely saw a dark shadow standing next to Xue'er's crib. Who? Jin Ke rushed over, but when he got closer, he found nothing. Xue'er on the bed looked around, then looked at Jin Ke with an innocent face. Am I dazzled? Jin Ke checked around again with some doubts, and confirmed that there was indeed no one else in the room. And then he studied the Xiaomi phone that suddenly turned on automatically. There are many apps in the phone, most of which are labeled as plugins, such as training plugins, fighting plugins, gunfight plugins, maze plugins, puzzle plugins, treasure hunting plugins, etc. There are dozens of them. But there is no response after clicking them. In the whole phone, Jin Ke only knows 2 apps, one is QQ and the other is QQ Browser. In order to find out Xue'er's life experience, Jin Ke decided to open these 2 apps to see if there is any useful information. Jin Ke first opened the QQ icon. QQ did not log in automatically, but popped up a login interface, requiring the QQ number and password to be entered. Jin Ke thought about it and entered his QQ number and password, which he did not use often and was not very important. There was nothing unusual after logging in. Jin Ke shook his head and returned to the main screen of the phone, and opened the QQ browser again. After opening the QQ browser, he directly entered the homepage of a mobile game. The mobile game was called Horror City. The slogan on it claimed that this was the most terrifying game in history. The promotional pictures were also quite bloody, but for Jin Ke, who had watched too many horror movies, such pictures did not cause any discomfort to him. He was just a little surprised that the QQ browser directly entered the homepage of this mobile game. There were dozens of customer service QQs on the homepage of the mobile game, and most of them were currently online. Jin Ke accidentally clicked on the QQ icon of one of the customer service, and the screen automatically switched to the QQ dialog box. Earn 300 yuan a day at home. Are you interested? A QQ named Don't Play Mobile Games asked Jin Ke without waiting for Jin Ke to speak. It's actually a scam website. Could it be? Xue'er's family was cheated of money by this website. As a result, they were unable to raise Xue'er, and then abandoned Xue'er in the snow? Jin Ke pondered in his heart. Now there is more than an hour before 8 o'clock, so why not take this opportunity to understand the scam of this website and see if you can find clues about Xue'er's life experience. How to make money. Jin Ke asked the other party. Hello, I'm a scout from Jinji's studio. Our main job is to play mobile games. We are currently recruiting a group of potential players to join our studio. The daily salary is 300 yuan. And it is paid on a daily basis. Are you interested? Don't Play Mobile Games sent a message to Jin Ke. Oh, okay. If you pay me 300 yuan in advance, I will join your studio. Jin Ke replied to the other party. Okay, but you have to pass our assessment. Don't Play Mobile Games asked Jin Ke. Assessment? What assessment? Jin Ke knew that these scammers always use various tricks to deceive people. These so-called assessments are one of their tricks, such as assessing your credit and asking you to transfer money to a designated account. First, transfer a few yuan and return it to you immediately, or even return 1 or 2 yuan more to you, so that you can take advantage of it and slowly relax your vigilance. Step by step, you transfer more money to them. When a certain amount is reached, they will block you and suddenly disappear. As long as people are not greedy and believe in the principle that there is no such thing as a free lunch, it is generally difficult to be deceived. The assessment content is a small game. I will send the game file to you. After installing it on your phone, you will get the verification code only after you have completed the game. If you send me the verification code, it means that you have successfully passed the assessment. After you pass the assessment and join our studio, we will prepay you a day's basic salary. In addition, we will set a basic salary for you based on your assessment results. As long as you can reach S level, you can ensure a daily salary of 300 yuan. The better the assessment results, the higher the basic salary. S level? That's the highest level. It's hard to reach, right? Jin pretended to be very interested. No, S level is easy to reach for players who often play mobile games. There are 2 S level and 3 S level above S level. Okay, go on. Join the studio, and after the characters in the game start various tasks and dungeons, you can also get commissions. As long as you complete the daily tasks, we will prepay you the next day's basic salary at midnight every night, and settle your commission for the previous day at the same time. Don't Play Mobile Games quickly sent messages on QQ. It was obvious that these words were edited in advance, and he just needed to click send. Verification code. Jin Ke didn't know what to say. There are all kinds of frauds targeting bank cards, but the results are nothing more than 2. One is to trick you into transferring money, and the other is to trick you into using the verification code when transferring money. Anyway, they just want to transfer the money in your bank card. I have something to remind you, that is, the mobile game that our studio is involved in is very scary. If you are timid and have poor psychological quality, you'd better not try it easily, so as to avoid some unexpected things. Maybe because Jin Ke didn't speak for a while, Don't Play Mobile Games sent another message. Chapter 4 Clearance Score 3S. Playing hard to get, trying to trick me? Jin Ke sneered in his heart. Send me the test game. I'm very brave. Jin Ke pretended to be tricked by the other party, and added an angry expression after this sentence. Okay, I hope you don't let us down. Don't Play Mobile Games sent a file to Jin Ke, which was an APK file, obviously an installation program for mobile phone app. The name of the APK is Horror City Demo. After receiving the file, Jin thought for a long time and decided to install it to see what the mystery of this scam is and how it fools people step by step. First of all, this phone is not his, so he is not afraid of the other party using some hacking program to trick him. Secondly, he just checked and found that there is no important information saved in this phone. The QQ he logged in now is just one he doesn't use often. Even if this QQ is stolen, he will not suffer any loss. After confirming the installation, the phone showed the installation screen of Horror City Demo. The game demo looked a bit large, and the installation lasted for more than 3 minutes. After the installation was completed, the icon of Horror City Demo appeared on the phone screen. It was a distant view of a city with the word demo on it. Today's scammers are really desperate to cheat a few dollars. They even made a game demo. Jin Ke muttered to himself and clicked on the Horror City Demo icon and entered the game interface. He wanted to continue to study the mystery behind this scam and how these scammers successfully cheated money. After opening the game, there was a registration page, but you can log in directly with QQ. Jin Ke didn't think much about it and directly logged in with the QQ number in his phone. After entering Horror City Demo, like other mobile games, there was a section of Operation Tutorial. After some research, Jin Ke found that this was just a very ordinary third-person perspective fighting game. The enemies in it included zombies, reptiles, and various monsters with very strange shapes. In Jin Ke's eyes, these things had nothing to do with the word horror. However, there are many keys on the game screen, which requires high operation skills from the player. You need proficient mobile game operation skills to defeat the various monsters in it. No one cares about Jin Ke, and he doesn't pay much attention to his studies on weekdays. As long as his grades are acceptable, it's fine. Before raising Xue'er, he spent most of his time at home writing game novels and playing various mobile games. He is a real gifted master in mobile game operation. This game is very much to his taste. After taking a look and finding that Xue'er in the crib is already asleep, Jin Ke began his journey to pass the game. The combat in this game demo is very striking, and the game's graphics are also very delicate and realistic. The more he played, the more Jin Ke felt that this was a very good mobile game, and he soon became addicted to it. As he became more proficient in the game, he passed each level easily, and he became more and more proficient in the operation of the game. Half an hour passed unknowingly. Jin Ke faced the last big boss at the end of the level. He controlled his game character to jump around and slash. Finally, he knocked down the big boss when his character was still alive. He completed the fighting content with 1 life. If I play it a second time, I should be able to complete the level with full health. Jin Ke felt a little regretful. After completing the level, a new level popped up on the screen. This new level had nothing to do with the previous game content. It turned into a maze game, requiring players to walk out of the maze in the game within a limited time. The maze has a total of 10 levels. Only by finding the exit of each level can you enter the next level of the maze camp. These mazes are not ordinary mazes. There are all kinds of perverted traps set up in them, and they will change at any time. If you can't find the pattern of change, you will be completely confused. Jin Ke was trapped in the first level of the maze. He walked around and found that the surroundings were exactly the same. He couldn't get out no matter what. For some reason, Jin Ke suddenly felt as if someone was looking at him from behind. He turned his head quickly, but there was nothing behind him. The phone rang and a prompt popped up on the screen. Automatically detected a maze game. Do you want to enable the maze plugin? Jin Ke recalled that there were many plug-in programs in the Xiaomi phone that Xue'er was in her cradle, one of which was a maze plug-in. I guess this prompt was automatically popped up by the maze plug-in, considering that he would definitely not be able to pass these mazes in a short time with his own brain power, and he did not have enough time to spend on it. Jin Ke of course agreed to enable the maze plug-in. After the maze plug-in was turned on, a green indicator arrow appeared under the feet of the character in the game. The rest of the things were very simple. Jin Ke only needed to follow the arrow to easily find the exit of the maze. However, Jin Ke soon noticed that the plug-in program sometimes made mistakes, such as not showing the path for a long time, or leading his character in the game into some dead ends, and then finding the way again. Is it to avoid being discovered by the server that he used a plug-in, so he pretended to make mistakes? Interesting. With the deliberate mistakes made by the plugin, Jin Ke took more than half an hour to clear all 10 mazes. After the maze is a puzzle level, which is a place similar to an underground laboratory. A murder has occurred, but no one knows who did it. Players need to find various props and integrate many clues to connect the entire puzzle and find out the final truth. This time Jin Ke had experience. He switched back to the main screen of the phone and manually turned on several plugins that seemed to be needed, such as the puzzle plugin, treasure hunt plugin, maze plugin, etc., and then switched back to the game. After returning to the game, as long as Jin Ke's character walks into a laboratory room, all the hidden objects and hidden clues in the laboratory room will be highlighted on the screen. With the help of these plugins, Jin quickly combined all the clues together, locked the real culprit behind the scenes, and successfully passed the puzzle level. After the puzzle level was over, the game screen appeared with the golden 3S flashing. It was obvious that Jin Ke had met the highest requirements of the assessment in all aspects. Congratulations on passing the game. Your verification code is 9975. Press any key to exit the game. A line of prompts popped up on the phone screen. Is it over? Jin Ke exited the game, then took a screenshot on QQ and told Don't Play Mobile Games. What's the verification code? Don't Play Mobile Games sent a message. Isn't it on the screenshot? 9975. Jin Ke replied to Don't Play Mobile Games. Anyway, it's not a bank card withdrawal verification code, so it doesn't matter to tell the other party. Your verification code has passed the server verification, and your passing score has reached 3S. Your mobile game operation ability has reached the highest requirements of our studio. Congratulations on passing the assessment of Jinjai Studio. If you agree to join Jinjai Studio, we will advance your daily salary tomorrow. Because of your outstanding performance, the base salary is temporarily set at 500 yuan. Chapter 5, Quit while you're at it. In addition, you can also work in the villa that our studio has arranged for you. We will provide you with a separate dormitory room and 3 meals a day. Don't Play Mobile Games proposed this to Jin Ke. I don't know if it was because Jin Ke's clearance results were very good, but the other party's tone of voice became respectful and polite. Arrange a separate dormitory room, and provide 3 meals a day? Oh, I see. This is a pyramid scheme organization. After I was deceived into it, I could never get out. There must be 3 meals a day. I drink porridge and eat carrots every day. If I want to escape, I will break my legs. Fortunately, I am so smart that I can see through your conspiracy at a glance. Jin quickly analyzed it. Of course, these are all in his mind and he will not say it directly. No problem. I'll join. Jin Ke has only one principle to deal with these scammers. No matter how wonderful the other party's words are, as long as he asks him to pay money, such as a deposit or credit, then everything is off the table. If the other party transfers the money first, it is another matter. As for trying to trick him into going to their so-called villa and brainwashing him behind closed doors, that's impossible. Don't Play Mobile Games transfers 500 yuan to you. You must bind your real name bank card within a week to withdraw the money. If you fail to bind within the deadline, the transfer will be cancelled. A line of prompts popped up on QQ. TSK. Jin Ke didn't believe this prompt at all. Who knows if the other party used some software to simulate the effect of the transfer. However, Jin Ke subconsciously opened his QQ wallet and found that there was really a balance of 500 yuan in it. You know, he has never recharged money on this QQ, and he hasn't even bound a bank card. In order to test whether the 500 yuan balance is real, Jin Ke immediately activated the bank card binding function of this QQ, and then tried to withdraw cash. Half a minute later, his own mobile phone received a text message prompting that there was a 500 yuan deposit in his bank card. He took out his mobile phone to check the mobile banking, and there was indeed an extra 500 yuan. Have the scams been upgraded? You can't catch a wolf without sacrificing your child. In order to cheat the other party's money, I have to transfer 500 yuan to the other party first. What if I stop when I see the profit and don't fall for their trick? Won't they lose a lot? Jin Ke sighed. After thinking about it carefully, he didn't think it was strange. These pyramid schemes can at least get a few thousand yuan for each person they cheat, right? People nowadays are very smart. If the scammers don't give them some small profits first, it will be difficult for them to be fooled. Maybe he pretended too much, and the other party thought he was easy to cheat, so they put such a capital on him. Aren't they afraid of encountering a poor guy who can't squeeze a dime out of him? After being deceived and controlled in the so-called villa, if they find that they can't squeeze any money out of him, maybe they will sell his kidneys or corneas, or send him to a heavily guarded underground factory to do hard labor. Anyway, if he is deceived and goes to their place, the 500 yuan will definitely be doubled. However, these 500 yuan are really a timely help. Although Luo Ye has paid for most of Xue'er's expenses in the past few months, raising a child is not an easy thing. Jin Ke has also spent a lot of money himself. In addition, he has to take care of Xue'er. He doesn't even have time to go out for odd jobs. His savings have long been used up. He is very tight on money now. If he flees to another place, the various expenses will only be greater. Okay, I received the money. What do you want me to do next? Jin Ke asked. Don't play mobile games. After receiving the money, the other party's deception made him more and more interested. Welcome to join the Jinjai studio. Next, I will pull you into our studio group. The first task you join the studio is to download the full version of the mobile game Horror City and install it on your mobile phone. After installing the full version of the mobile game, familiarize yourself with the operation of the game as soon as possible. In the future, you will play the mobile game Horror City with other members of the studio. Don't play mobile games, answered Jin Ke. So simple, just playing mobile games? Are there any special requirements? Jin Ke asked. Don't play mobile games again. Earning 500 yuan by playing mobile games for a day didn't seem real. He was now more and more interested in how this scam fooled people. Yes, it's just playing mobile games. The requirements are also very simple. The character you created in the Horror City mobile game cannot die. Once the character you created in the game dies, it means that you automatically terminate the contract with the studio, are no longer a member of the studio, and can no longer enjoy the studio's daily salary and other benefits. In addition, the group will post some tasks that you need to complete in the Horror City mobile game. After completing the tasks, there will be additional commission rewards. The higher the completion rate, the higher the reward. Don't play mobile games, answered Jin Ke. Is the task mandatory? Must it be completed? Join the studio and you will be an employee of the studio. The completion of the task is the most direct assessment of your work performance. Okay. Jin Ke thought about it and thought it was nothing. If the other party asked him to top up in the game, submit a bank account, or something like that, he could just block these people. Anyway, they couldn't cheat him out of a penny. Will you come to work in the villa we arranged? Don't play mobile games, confirmed with Jin Ke. Well, forget it. I'm not from Huang City. I'll just play at home. Jin Ke refused the other party, of course, so as not to fall into the pyramid scheme trap. If you don't come to work in the villa we arranged, you can only become a peripheral member of the studio. The daily salary of peripheral members of the studio is generally only 50. If your assessment score reaches 3S, you can only be raised to 100 at most after applying to the higher-ups, and you can't enjoy the various benefits provided by the studio. Don't play mobile games, reminded Jin Ke. A few words. 100 yuan a day? 100 is fine. Sorry, it's really inconvenient for me to go to your place. Jin continued to refuse. In this case, the 500 yuan paid in advance will be your basic salary for the next 5 days. You could have earned 2,500 yuan in 5 days, but now you can only earn 500 yuan. Don't play mobile games, seemed unwilling. It's okay, I'm not greedy. 100 yuan a day is enough for me to eat and drink. Jin Ke sneered. You want to trick me into a pyramid scheme for 500 yuan? Force me to sell my organs and do hard labor? No way. We strongly recommend that you come to work in the villa we have arranged. Because of the potential you showed during the assessment, we can focus on training you. Although your current daily salary is only 500 yuan, in the future, if the strength of your character in the game meets the requirements, you may be promoted to the director level, and the basic salary will be increased to 1,000 yuan per day. The basic salary will double when you are promoted to a higher level. If you don't come, not only will your daily salary be reduced to 100 yuan per day, but you will also not be able to get a promotion in position. Don't play mobile games. Continue to persuade Jin Ke. Chapter 6. It's not accidental. Let's talk about going to the villa later. Jin Ke would not be fooled no matter how the other party flattered him. Once he went there, he would lose his personal freedom and would be at the mercy of the pyramid scheme organization. 500 yuan a day to hire someone to play mobile games? This is a lie. Then, shall I add you to the group first? You can think about coming to the villa for another day. We have reserved a room for you in Building 16 of the Azure Garden in Huang City. If you don't come after 24 hours, this room will be given to other employees. In addition, the full version of the installation file of Horror City is in the group shared files. You can download and install it by yourself. After joining the group, please read the group rules carefully. If you violate the group rules, you may be kicked out of the studio. Don't play mobile games, told Jin Ke a few more words. Wait. You are a mobile game studio. Why is your ID called Don't Play Mobile Games? Jin Ke asked. Don't play mobile games. Playing mobile games is addictive, especially the mobile games that our studio is involved in. In addition, our studio is involved in a super scary mobile game that ordinary players dare not play at all. So, I took such an ID. What kind of lame excuse is this? Forget it. Just pull me into the group. Jin Ke didn't want to ask any more questions. If he found out it was a scam, he would withdraw in time. If he confirmed after careful investigation that the other party was not a scammer, he would not lose his freedom if he went to the villa, and he could really pay a basic salary of 500 yuan a day in advance. 500 yuan a day, 15,000 yuan a month, and his living expenses and place to stay with Xue'er during his escape would be settled. But this kind of thing can't be true, right? You have been pulled into Jingjai Studio Group 153 by Don't Play Mobile Games. QQ popped up a prompt. Group 153. Jin checked the group information of Jingjai Studio Group 153 and found that it was a large group of 2,000 people. Does this mean that Jingjai Studio already had 152 groups before? 152 times 2,000, more than 300,000 people? This is probably one of the scammer's tricks, right? Make the deceived people think that they are a big studio, a formal company. This is to use people's herd mentality to make the other party lose their normal vigilance, right? Group 153 already has more than 1,000 people. After Jin Ke joined the group, he did not receive a long line of greetings, requests for measurements, red envelopes, and photos of women's clothing like he did in other groups. The group of more than 1,000 people was so quiet that it seemed like no one was there. These more than 1,000 people are all from small accounts, right? This is a brand new scam. At least it has never been exposed in any media before. Jin Ke started thinking quickly. Jin Ke soon received the group rules sent by the group administrator in a private chat. He took a rough look at them. There was nothing special about the group rules. It mainly stipulated that non-studio affairs should not be flooded in the group. If you post meaningless spam, you will be fined 50 yuan for each post, and you will be expelled after 3 times. In addition, studio employees are not allowed to discuss or inquire about each other's salary, benefits, or private matters. Within 1 day of joining the group, they must change their group name cards to real names and their profile pictures to real photos, otherwise they will be kicked out of the group. Looking carefully, the names of the group members have indeed all been changed to real names, and the profile pictures are all real photos. With such group rules, it's no wonder that no one has spoken. But it may be done on purpose, so that I don't doubt that all of their more than 1,000 people are fake accounts. Jin continued to think quickly. When dealing with a large fraud company and a new type of fraud, you must always keep a clear mind, otherwise you will be brainwashed and fall into the other party's scam. In addition to the group rules sent by the group manager in private chat, he also sent the link address of the installation file of the official version of Horror City. Jin opened it and took a look. He was surprised to find that the installation file of the official version of Horror City reached more than 20 GB. A mobile game of more than 20 GB in size? Are you kidding? A 1 GB mobile game is almost equivalent to a 10 GB game on a computer. A 20 GB mobile game is equivalent to a 200 GB game on a computer. The question is, can the Redmi Note 4X mobile phone in Xue'er's Cradle install a 20 GB mobile game? You should know that after a mobile game is installed on a mobile phone, it will automatically decompress or generate a lot of data files, which may be several times the size of the installation files. This mobile game can force some unimportant programs and all data to be installed on an external SD card. If you go to work in the villa arranged by the studio, you can get a 128GB SD card for free, which has the downloaded installation files. You don't need to download it, just install it directly. Don't Play Mobile Games seemed to know that Jin Ke was studying the installation files, and chatted with him privately in a timely manner. Well, I'll think about it for one night. I'll reply to you tomorrow. Jin Ke blocked Don't Play Mobile Games to prevent the other party from constantly nagging him to work in the villa. After returning to the main screen of the phone, Jin Ke opened the settings of this Xiaomi phone and checked the phone configuration. He was surprised to find that the built-in storage of this phone was 100T, the running memory was 8T, and the processor model was very strange. I had never seen it before. Did I see it wrong? Redmi Note 4X, Xiaomi's lowest-end phone, 1T is equivalent to 1000G, and the mainstream hard disk now is 1T. The built-in storage of this phone is 100T. The running memory is 8T. Are you kidding? Is this Redmi Note 4X? No wonder Xiaomi's maintenance personnel said that they could not find the ID of this phone, could not detect its hardware, and believed that all the hardware was damaged. This phone is not a product of Xiaomi at all, but just imitates the appearance of Xiaomi's products. And if you think about it carefully, this phone has other unusual features, such as automatically turning on after 3 months, and the phone ringtone sounded. By the way, the battery display of the phone is 100%. What kind of phone is still fully charged after being left for 3 months? 100 terabytes of built-in storage and 8 terabytes of RAM. These days, mobile phone manufacturers can't do that, right? There are only two possibilities. One is that this phone is a future technology product, and the other is that someone has modified the various parameters in the phone settings as a prank. But the second possibility cannot explain why the phone automatically turns on after 3 months, and the battery is 100% after it turns on, right? There is a future technology phone in Xue'er's swaddling clothes. What are the identities of Xue'er's family members? When the QQ browser on the phone is opened, the homepage of the mobile game Horror City appears, which seems to be no coincidence. All of this mobile game Horror City, this horror studio, may really be related to Xue'er's life experience. Things are getting a little weird. Jin couldn't help but have the urge to follow this clue. Chapter 7 I want to talk to you. You have been pulled into the group established by mentor Chen Wei. QQ popped up a prompt. Jin looked and saw that he was pulled into the group by a group member with the ID Chen Wei, newcomer mentor. There were more than 10 other people in the group. The group leader was mentor Chen Wei. The others, like Jin, still used online names and looked like they had just joined. Welcome new members. Welcome, welcome. The group rules were not so strict, and since they were all newcomers, the group members welcomed Jin's arrival. I am Chen Wei from Jinjai Studio. I am now a director. I have been assigned to be the newcomer mentor of this group. I will lead you newcomers to familiarize yourself with the operation of the studio and the basic operation of the game. Chen Wei introduced himself. You are all potential newcomers with a rating of 3A or above in Beiyou Province. You are the focus of the studio's training. The boss provides you with free food and accommodation, which is in the Wheel and Home Villa community in Huang City. Mentor Chen Wei continued. It seems that without cheats, it is difficult for others to reach the 3S level in the assessment, especially the maze part, which is too difficult, so most of them can only get 3A. Azure Garden? Damn. One of the most upscale villa communities in Huang City. Team members EMU 12 points side. Haha. Is it really not a pyramid scheme? The people living in the Azure Garden community are not ordinary people. There is a police station at the door. I heard that the security guards inside are actually plainclothes policemen. Team member Feng Dankson spoke up. They recruited so many people with a daily salary of 200 yuan, arranged them to eat and stay in the Azure Garden community, and then let us play mobile games. How does the company make money? Do other groups in the group also live in this community? Team member Battle Never Stops spoke up. It seems that the daily salary of 3A level is only 200 yuan, which is far from Jin's 500 yuan. In the Wheel and Home community? Is it such a coincidence? I live in this community. I'll go to building 16 later to take a look. I'm not interested in daily wages or anything like that. I'm only interested in how scary this game is. Team member Kuski spoke up. I've been to the community to play. The greenery, the square. The environment is very good, better than the park. Team member Nero Festival spoke up. Who is the boss? In addition to making this game, what other industries does he run? So generous, paying people to play games, and also providing food and accommodation, and living in a high-end villa community? Team member Danny Uenfi was very curious. Keep acting. I'll just watch and not say anything. In the eyes of Jin Ke, who was suspicious of everything, these people should be hired by the scammers, and they jointly performed all this to relax his vigilance. Right? There is even a possibility that all these people are actually the same person's Smurfs. This scammer really racked his brains and spent a lot of effort to cheat him of his money and to trick him into their pyramid scheme organization. It seems that since he received 500 yuan, these people have been asking him to go to the Wheel and Home Villa community in Huang City in various ways. When I first entered the studio, I was curious like you, and I was curious about many things, such as so many people, such high welfare benefits, who the boss is, whether he is mentally ill, how the studio makes money, etc. But now I have no interest in these things, because my commission and salary will be paid on time every day, and all kinds of welfare benefits are enjoyed according to the standards, and all I need to do is play mobile games every day. So, I suggest that you don't ask what you shouldn't ask, and you don't need to know what you shouldn't know. Just do your job well. The instructor Chen Wei answered everyone in a long paragraph. The people in the pyramid scheme organization are really good at brainwashing. Those who can't answer or make up are just perfunctory. Jin continued to watch coldly. Okay, then what do you think we need to do now? Team member Zemu 12 points spoke. First of all, I suggest that those who have never been here should go to the Wheel and Home community for a field investigation. I am waiting for you at Villa number 16 now. We will not close until midnight tonight at the latest, so that you can be sure that we are not a pyramid scheme organization here. Your personal safety and personal freedom can be guaranteed. I hope you can live in Wheel and Home to enjoy the company's welfare and accept the company's unified management. You have a little more than one day, that is, before midnight tomorrow night at the latest, to make your choice. If you still don't report to Wheel and Home during this period, your quota will be replaced by other newcomers, and you will lose the opportunity to be promoted, increase your daily salary, and enjoy better welfare benefits. Chen Wei answered with Zemu 12 points. If Jingjai Studio is really a pyramid scheme organization, all they are doing now is to desperately try to pull the team members into their pyramid scheme organization and control them. However, Wheel and Home, Jin Ke has heard of it. It is one of the most upscale aristocratic villa communities in Huang City. Ordinary pyramid schemes will not rent such a high-end place, right? Perhaps the current pyramid schemes and scams have upgraded their tactics? Have they started renting high-end residential areas as their bases? Because of this mysterious Xiaomi phone, Jin Ke came into contact with Jingjai Studio and this mobile game. This Xiaomi phone was obtained from Xue'er's cradle. Xue'er's life experience may be related to the Jingjai Studio. So no matter what, Jin Ke felt that he had to go to the Blue Home Villa community in person. The team members continued to ask various questions, and the mentor Chen Wei continued to perfunctorily answer them. Or maybe he really didn't know the answer. But Jin Ke was no longer interested in listening to their nonsense. He had more important things to do. Jin Ke looked at the time. It was 7:40 now, and there were still 20 minutes before the time he and Luo Ye agreed. I don't know how she talked with her family. If she doesn't call in 20 minutes, according to the agreement between the two, he will have to take Xue'er away. Jin Ke picked up some things again. Everything was ready to go at any time. He was just waiting for Luo Ye's news at 8 o'clock. At 7:50, there was a knock on the door. Jin Ke walked cautiously to the peephole of the security door and looked out. He found a strange man in a suit, with a burly figure and a tough face. Who are you looking for? Jin Ke opened the small door of 10 centimeters square on the security door and asked the man through the small door. Excuse me, are you classmate Jin Ke? The strange man asked Jin Ke. His tone was polite, and it seemed that this person should be well educated. "It's me. What do you want to talk to me about?" Jin Ke looked at the man vigilantly. "Let me introduce myself. My surname is Luo. My name is Luo Ye, and I am Luo Ye's brother. I want to talk to you about Luo Ye and Xue'er. Can you let me in?" The strange man revealed his identity to Jin Ke. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8: The Warmth of Home. Just say it here if you have anything to say. Jin Ke did not open the security door to let Luo Ye in. Xue'er's safety was the most important thing. "Xue'er is asleep?" Luo Ye had no choice but to ask Jin Ke through the small door. "Yes." "Is the crib safe? Is it okay for you to talk to me without being around?" Luo Ye confirmed with Jin Ke again. His wife gave birth to a son for him a year ago. He knew that children are naughty. If adults don't take good care of them, problems may occur at any time. The crib was bought by Luo Ye. It is the safest one with guardrails all around. When we go to class, no one is watching over her, and Xue'er is very safe. Xue'er is only 5 months old, right? 6 months. Jin Ke actually didn't know how many months Xue'er was. He and Luo Ye inferred it based on the height and weight standards for female infants in months. For babies of 5 or 6 months old, it is best to have someone to take care of them all day. You obviously don't have such conditions here. Luo Ye continued. Jin Ke didn't respond to him. If possible, he would definitely like to take care of Xue'er 24 hours a day. "Can you guess why I'm looking for you?" Seeing that Jin Ke didn't answer, Luo Ye got to the point. For Luo Ye and Xue'er's matter, Jin Ke was not stupid. After hearing about Luo Ye's identity, he knew what he was doing. "How old are you this year?" 17. 17 years old. You will be an adult in another year. I can see that your mind should be very mature, so I won't beat around the bush and tell you directly. Luo Ye took a deep breath, as if he was controlling his emotions. "Go ahead." Jin Ke looked indifferent. "I don't know what you did to trick Xue'er into being with you, and even let her give birth to a child for you. Before you did all this, did you know what the Luo family's background was? Do you know the consequences of doing this? Do you know how big the gap is between you and her? There is one thing I hope you understand, you and her are not suitable. Even if you have a child, you can't be together in the future. You'd better not have any illusions about her." Luo Ye's tone became stern. "Are you Luo Ye's brother?" "Yes." "How old are you this year?" Jin Ke asked Luo Ye. 25. Luo Ye frowned. 25. I think you should understand a lot of life truths, such as who your sister wants to be with and who she doesn't want to be with. This is her own business. As a brother, it seems inappropriate to interfere too much. Also, there are some things that you haven't investigated clearly, and you just talk nonsense. It doesn't seem appropriate, right? Jin crossed his arms and leaned against the door. "Let me tell you this. For some reasons, Xue'er was almost brought up by me, and elder brother is like a father. In the past year or so, I was busy with other things and neglected to manage her. I didn't expect that something would happen to her. Now that it has happened, I don't want to pursue anything. I will give you some compensation, whether it is money or other things. As long as you ask for it, I can give it to you as long as I can do it. After this, you can't go to Xue'er again. In addition, I will take Xue'er away. I will give her a happy childhood and let her receive a good education in the future." Luo Ye proposed to Jin Ke in an unquestionable tone. "Regarding the matter between Luo Ye and me, you go back and communicate with her and find out what happened first. As for Xue'er, no one can take her away from me. There are no conditions for this. Xue'er is my daughter. I will find a way to earn the money to raise Xue'er. You don't need to worry about it." Jin Ke immediately rejected Luo Ye. "You have to think this through. From today on, the family has cut off all of Xue'er's financial resources. She can no longer spend money on you, and you can't get more from her. You are simply not capable of raising Xue'er under your current conditions. If you agree to my terms, at least you can have no worries about food and clothing for the rest of your life, and Xue'er will be well taken care of. If you refuse me, I believe your life will soon be doomed." Luo Ye's tone was very light, But the threat was self-evident. No matter what path it is, I will only take the path I choose. Jin Ke answered Luo Ye indifferently. Luo Ye punched the wall next to the security door, obviously very angry. The two fell into silence and did not speak for several minutes. Classmate Jin Ke, are you still there? Luo Ye asked through the small door, and it seemed that he had calmed down. Yes, you must have been thinking, are kings, princes, generals, and ministers of different species? Right? Maybe you've read too many online novels and think 30 years in the East, 30 years in the West, don't despise the young and poor. Right? You think you will be great in the future, you will become a super big shot, and then you will come to the Luo family and slap me in the face, right? Haha, online novels all have this routine. Unfortunately, what I'm going to say to you now may shatter all your fantasies. Luo Ye began a long speech. Jin Ke didn't say a word, just listened quietly. In our society, the classes have already solidified. Without a good foundation, it is impossible for a child from a poor family to become the next Jack Ma. Your age is full of fantasies. Once you enter society, you will be beaten to a pulp. It's not that I look down on you. Even if I give you 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or 100 years, you will not be worthy of my ear. What's more, Ye doesn't have that much time to wait for you. If you love her, for her happiness, you must learn to let go. If you have ill intentions towards her and have other intentions, I advise you to take the benefits and leave quickly. Ye is easy to fool, but I am not so easy to fool. Luo Ye continued to talk at length. Jin Ke still didn't say a word. Okay, I'm done. You can express your attitude. Do you take my money and benefits and let go, or continue to pester Ye? Luo Ye was silent for half a minute and then spoke again. Everything between Luo Ye and me is decided by Luo Ye, and no one else has the right to interfere. Jin Ke answered Luo Ye coldly. Okay, I'll arrange for someone to come and do a paternity test for Xue'er tomorrow, and let the law handle the rest. Luo Ye didn't say anything more, and turned to go downstairs. Watching a sturdy military SUV disappear downstairs, Jin Ke immediately returned to the room and picked up a large backpack containing Xue'er's diapers, milk powder, bottles, clothes, blankets and other items, and then turned off the water and electricity switches in the room. After his parents passed away, Jin Ke lived here alone for 5 years. During these 5 years, he was alone and lonely for more than 4 years. It was not until the arrival of Xue'er and Luo Ye that this family regained vitality and made him feel the warmth of home again, making this family truly a home. But tonight, this family broke up. Chapter 9. There are still many good people in the world. It was already dark. Holding Xue'er, Jin Ke walked under the street lights that had just been turned on. He looked around as he walked, worried that he was being followed. An old lady passing by looked at Jin Ke in confusion. A 17-year-old boy holding a baby and looking around with a sneaky expression on his face was indeed very suspicious. Could he be a human trafficker? The street lights were very bright, and Xue'er looked around curiously. Jin Ke pulled Xue'er's hat and covered her eyes with the brim to prevent her eyes from being hurt by the strong light of the street lights. After her eyes were covered, Xue'er shook her head, trying to get rid of the brim of the hat, but it was obviously in vain. After a while, she probably felt that it was dark, so she closed her eyes and quickly fell asleep in Jin Ke's arms. Not long after arriving at the bus stop, a bus to the train station stopped at the platform. Jin Ke looked back again and looked around, then swiped his card while holding Xue'er and got on the bus. It is quite far from here to the train station. If you hail a taxi, it will cost at least 30 or 40 yuan, which is enough to buy half a can of milk powder for Xue'er. Taking the bus only costs 2 yuan, so you can save as much as possible. The seats in the bus were all full, and Jin Ke had no place to sit. He was very weak, with a huge backpack on his back, and he walked more than 100 meters to the bus station with Xue'er in his arms. He was a little exhausted at this time, so he had to squat on the spot to reduce the weight on his body. So many people are sitting there motionless, and no one gives up a seat for the child? What kind of quality is this? An old man in his 50s glanced at Jin Ke, who was squatting, and then yelled a few times into the car, "Come and sit here." A young woman stood up and greeted Jin Ke. "Thank you, thank you." Jin Ke hurriedly thanked the old man and the young woman, He walked over and untied the big backpack on his back with some difficulty and put it on the ground, then sat on the seat given up by the young woman with Xue'er in his arms. There are still many good people in this world. After more than 3 hours of bus and train, Jin Ke finally arrived in Huang City. It was already past 11 o'clock in the evening when he got off the train, and most of the buses had already closed. Where to go? This was Jin Ke's first time in Huang City. He had no relatives here and was unfamiliar with the place. Standing outside the train station square, holding Xue'er, looking at the cold street lights, Jin Ke was a little confused for a moment. Where to go? A taxi stopped beside Jin Ke, and the driver leaned out and asked him. The taxi business was not good at night, and the driver had to take the initiative. How much does it cost to go to Whelan Garden? Jin Ke hesitated for a moment and asked the taxi driver. Now he had nowhere else to go. He couldn't sleep on the street with Xue'er, right? It would be better to go and scout out what was going on in the Whelan Garden Villa community and whether the surrounding area was safe, and then decide on the next plan. It's quite far. We have to go around most of the city. How about this? I'll take you there for 40 yuan without using the meter, the taxi driver suggested to Jin Ke. His taxi had a fake license plate and a fake meter. 20. Jin Ke bargained with the taxi driver. Are you kidding? 20? Absolutely impossible. The driver shook his head. Forget it. Jin Ke waved to the driver. Okay, just consider it a charity. The driver agreed unhappily. Although Huang City is very big, Whelan Home is not as far as the driver said. The taxi only took more than 10 minutes to arrive at the gate of Whelan Home. After getting off the car, Jin Ke handed a 20 yuan bill to the taxi driver, 15 short. After the driver took the 20 yuan, he grabbed Jin Ke's backpack. Didn't we agree on 20 yuan? Jin Ke frowned. 20 yuan is the fare, and there is also 10 yuan for gasoline and 5 yuan for bridge tolls. The driver said as a matter of course. The taxi charged me for gas. Which bridge did you cross? The overpass. Are you bullying me because I'm from another place? Jin Ke was a little angry. You don't pay for the ride. Do you want to eat a free meal? The driver grabbed a metal wrench from the car with his other hand, with a ferocious expression on his face, as if he was ready to attack at any time. Jin Ke was worried that Xue'er in his arms would get hurt, so he didn't dare to fight with the driver. What's wrong with you? What are you arguing about? A man who was about to enter the community with his friends saw the dispute and came over. The man was a big guy with a bald head, and he was wearing a pair of sunglasses at night. Before I took the taxi, I agreed to take me to Whelan Home for 20 yuan. When I got off the car, he said he would charge me another 10 yuan for gas and 5 yuan for the bridge toll. If I didn't pay, he would be ruthless. Jin Ke explained to the bald man. Take you to Whelan Home for 20 yuan in the middle of the night? Are you dreaming? The driver looked at the bald man with some fear. Where did you get on the taxi? The bald man asked Jin Ke, touching his bald head. Heku railway station. Heku railway station to here. You charge him 35? It's only 15 yuan by meter, right? The bald man looked at the driver. Mind your own business. The driver waved the iron plate in his hand. See, over there. At the police station, several policemen are on night shift. Are you playing tough? Are you going to play with me there? By the way, why does your taxi look like a fake license plate? Which company are you from? I'll call and ask. The bald man took off his sunglasses and looked at the driver and his car. Stop talking nonsense. The driver looked at the police station over there, felt that something was wrong, let go of the hand holding Jin Ke's backpack, and prepared to go back to the car and leave. Don't leave in a hurry. Give me the change. The bald man stretched out his hand and grabbed the driver's arm. The bald man's arm was very strong and powerful. After grabbing the driver's arm, the driver had no way to break free. What change do you want? The driver looked at the bald man with a timid look on his face. It's only 15 yuan from Heku railway station to here. You took 20 yuan from him. Shouldn't you give back 5 yuan? It's okay if you don't want the change. Let's go to the police station over there and talk. The bald man looked at the driver relentlessly. You're so cruel. I'll remember you. The driver had to find 5 yuan in change from his pocket and handed it to the bald man. The bald man then let go of the driver's arm. The driver was as if he had been pardoned. and he quickly stepped on the accelerator and ran away. Ha ha ha. I'm the least afraid of being remembered by others. The bald man laughed and turned around and handed the 5 yuan to Jin Ke. Thank you. Jin Ke didn't expect that he would meet so many good people along the way, and he was very grateful to the bald man for his help. You're welcome. I hate to see outsiders being bullied the most. The bald man glanced at Xue'er in Jin Ke's arms, but didn't ask any more questions. How is the security environment around this community? Jin Ke took the opportunity to ask the bald man. The police station is opposite the community, and across the street is the district public security bureau. The district government is also over there. Do you think the security here is good? The bald man laughed a few times. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. The bald man turned and walked into the community. Chapter 10. I didn't expect it to be my own people. The Blue Garden is indeed a high-end villa community, as several members of the group said. The police station is opposite the community. Looking inside through the gate of the community, you can see that it is built like a garden. In the middle of the night, you can see patrolling security guards everywhere. They definitely don't dare to mess around near the district government and the district public security bureau. Right? Is what the bald man said true? Jin Ke walked in the direction of the bald man's finger. After walking about 100 meters, he crossed a short street. Everything was as the bald man said. The district public security bureau and the municipal government were indeed located here. It seems that there should be no problem with the public security of the Blue Garden. If the pyramid scheme company dares to set up a base here, it would be too bold. After wandering around the street for a while, it was already 23:50 when he returned to the gate of the Blue Garden community. Jin Ke decided to go into the community first before making the next decision. Who are you looking for? A male security guard in his 40s who was patrolling at the gate of the villa asked Jin Ke who was approaching. Find Mr. Chen Wei from building 16 and tell them that a new employee is here to report. Jin Ke answered the security guard. The security guard walked over and pressed the button for Villa 16 on the intercom in the gatehouse. After the call was answered, the security guard opened the door and let Jin Ke in, and pointed him in the general direction of Villa 16. Brother, help me. Jin Ke walked a few steps, turned back and called the security guard to the shade under the tree, and took out a 100 yuan bill and handed it to him. The security guard looked kind and didn't look like a bad guy. What's the matter? The security guard didn't reach out to take the money from Jin Ke. I went to that place to work, with food and accommodation provided, but I don't really trust the nature of their work, and I'm worried that they might be involved in pyramid schemes. For the safety of me and my daughter, I want to ask you for a favor. After I go in, call my cell phone half an hour later. If you can't get through or it's turned off, it means I may have lost my personal freedom. So you can help me call the police. Then call me at lunch every day to make sure everything is normal. If you can't get through to my cell phone, call the police immediately and have them come to Villa 16 to find me. If you agree to do me this favor, I'll give you 1,000 yuan a month, which will be like a few packs of cigarettes. Jin Ke proposed to the security guard. Although Jin Ke was very stingy for Xue'er's milk powder money when he took a taxi, it was different now, and human lives were at stake. Well, that's no problem. You don't have to pay every month, just pay once a month. You can get a good idea of the situation there in a month. The security guard hesitated for a moment and agreed. After looking around, he took the 100 yuan from Jin Ke's hand. It seemed that he was indeed an honest man. Thank you. Jin Ke felt a little relieved. I'll take you there. Just tell those people that you are my nephew. If they are really a pyramid scheme company, they will be more cautious. The security guard was relatively simple-minded. After receiving Jin Ke's money, he felt that he had to do something to feel more at ease. Besides, protecting the safety of the owners is their job responsibility. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. The young man is not very old, but he is very thoughtful. You should pay attention to safety when you go out. It doesn't matter if I'm alone, but I'm with my daughter. We are unfamiliar with the place and we have to be careful. That's right. By the way, what's your name? I'll go there later and make sure I don't say anything to get caught. Jin Ke, the assassin from the Qin dynasty? No, Jin Claus Jin. Oh, my last name is Liu, so it's not appropriate to say you're my nephew. How about this? I'll say you're my nephew. Okay. The two of them walked and talked, and 10 minutes later they arrived at the door of Villa number 16. The door of Villa number 16 was wide open, and there were several people sitting in the hall. Among them, a bald man looked particularly conspicuous under the light. No way, isn't this bald man the one who helped him out at the gate of the community before? Could he be the person in charge here? When Jin Ke was pulled into the group, he did not check everyone's profile picture, otherwise he should have recognized the identity of the instructor Chen Wei when he was outside the door. After noticing Jin Ke and the security guard outside the door, the bald man stood up to greet him. Hello, are you here to report? I'm from Jinji's studio. The bald man saw that Jin Ke was also a little surprised, but soon he realized it. Yes, Jin Ke nodded, and then looked around the room. What is your QQ, Jin Ke? Oh, let me see. The bald man took out his mobile phone to confirm. The QQ name that Jin Ke used to join the group was Jin Ke. He had not changed it to his real name for the time being, but this name sounded no different from his real name. Hello, I'm Chen Wei, your instructor. We talked in the group. The bald man extended his hand to Jin Ke. Hello, thank you so much for what happened just now. Jin Ke extended his hand and shook hands with Chen Wei. You're welcome. I didn't expect that he was one of us. I should help him. Chen Wei looked indifferent, and then glanced at the security guard beside Jin Ke. I'm his uncle, Doc. You can work here with peace of mind. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Your aunt is worried about you and will call you a few times a day. Don't bother me. The security guard said a few words to Jin Ke very diligently. Of course, to Chen Wei. I won't bother you, uncle. Just go and get busy. Jin Ke was very satisfied with the security guard's diligent cooperation. I'll leave my nephew to you, the security guard said to Chen Wei again, and then turned and walked away. In addition to the tutor Chen Wei, there was another man and two women in the hall on the first floor of the villa. Chen Wei introduced their identities to Jin Ke. The man's name was Tao Mumu and the slightly older woman was Liu Zhu. They were all new reporting members of their group. Another younger girl was wearing a uniform. She was a logistics staff member assigned by the studio. The name on the sign was Liu Zioxi. Come in. We are not a pyramid scheme organization, and we promise not to restrict your personal freedom. Chen Wei jokingly invited Jin Ke. Food and accommodation are provided, and daily wages are paid. After waiting for a whole night, only 3 people came to report. Everyone had a look of distrust when they first came. Chen Wei certainly knew what they were worried about. Jin Ke hesitated for a while, and then walked in with Xue'er in his arms. It was so late, and he really had nowhere else to go. Your sister? She's very cute. Tao Mumu, Liu Zhu, and Liu Zioxi came over together. Liu Zioxi looked at Xue'er, who had already woken up in Jin Ke's arms, with great interest. It's my daughter. Jin Ke's vigilant eyes and movements made Liu Zioxi stop trying to reach out and touch Xue'er's face. Chapter 11. The most terrifying game ever. Daughter, how old are you this year? You already have a daughter? Tao Mumu looked at Jin Ke curiously. Director Chen, is there any boiled water here? Jin Ke did not answer Tao Mumu, but asked Chen Wei, then put down his backpack and sat down on the sofa. It was time to feed Xue'er. Dao Liu, go get a boiled water bottle, Chen Wei said to Liu Zioxi, a girl in uniform. Okay. Liu Zioxi walked over to get the boiled water bottle, cooled the water according to Jin Ke's request, and then made milk powder. She is a logistics staff sent by the studio, responsible for your daily life. You can ask her for help with anything in this regard in the future. Chen Wei said a few more words beside him. Okay, thank you. Jin Ke still felt a little weird, playing mobile games, a basic salary of 500 yuan a day, and living in a villa with a nanny in the villa. It doesn't seem credible. Baby milk powder cannot be mixed with boiling water. It must be cooled first. Only when the temperature is below 50 degrees can the milk powder be added, otherwise the nutrition of the milk powder will be destroyed. In addition, the bottle and nipple must be disinfected before soaking, otherwise the baby may be infected with bacteria and cause gastrointestinal discomfort. Liu Zioxi has no experience in doing these things, but she is very smart and has quick hands and feet. Under Jin Ke's guidance, she quickly mastered the essentials. With the help of Liu Zioxi, Jin quickly brewed the milk powder and handed it to Xue'er's mouth. Xue'er looked around with her big eyes, and at the same time, she moved her little mouth and ate milk in big mouthfuls. She looked very hungry. That room is the smoking area. You must open the window and close the door after entering. Smoking is prohibited in all other areas of the villa. Please pay attention if you are addicted to smoking. This room is the restaurant, and next to it is the tea room. If you want to eat something the next day, you can leave a message to Xiaoyu on QQ, and she will arrange it for you in advance. If you need to clean up the house, you can also leave a message to Xiaoyu on QQ, and she will arrange someone to come and clean it. If you need any additional daily necessities, Xiaoyu can help you purchase them, but you need to pay for them yourself. Chen Wei introduced some details of life to everyone. Next, Chen Wei took Jin to see the room upstairs. The room was a bit like a dormitory. There were 2 to 3 beds in each room, but they were separated by partitions and curtains to form a relatively independent space. Each room had a separate bathroom, and simple furniture such as wardrobes and desks were provided. On the left was the dormitory for male employees, and on the right was the dormitory for female employees. Tao Mumu and Liu Zhu lived in this kind of dormitory. Mentor Chen Wei was in the innermost master bedroom. His room was very large. In addition to the bedroom, there was also a separate living room outside. Because Jin's assessment score reached 3S, he was arranged in a separate room, right next to his mentor Chen Wei's room. Because Jin brought Xue'er with him, Chen Wei also asked Liu Zioxi to help order a crib, which will be delivered tomorrow, and the cost will be advanced from Jin's salary. Xue'er can order other things she needs, such as milk powder, diapers, various baby toys, etc., online, or ask Liu Zioxi to help purchase them. In short, Jin felt that this studio almost covered all the problems of employees' lives, creating a very comfortable environment for them to concentrate on playing mobile games. What they have to do is to install the mobile game on their mobile phones, create a character, and get familiar with everything in the game. After settling down, Liu Zioxi gave everyone a 128G SD card, and Chen Wei guided everyone to install the game from the SD card to their respective mobile phones. Everyone will appear in a training base after entering. Remember, all NPCs in the game have their own personalities and lives. They don't think that they are in the game and are NPCs. They have their own joys, sorrows, anger and happiness. In the mobile game, in addition to the usual game rules, you should deal with everything else in a normal way of thinking. Don't provoke NPCs for no reason, and don't violate the rules of the training base, otherwise there may be some unexpected troubles. If you cause big trouble in the game, not only will your game character be punished in the game, but the studio will also give additional punishments, such as deducting bonuses, commissions, and even basic salary, etc. Chen Wei introduced some basic rules of the game to everyone. How scary is this game? It sounds scary, but in fact, I came here because this game is bloody and scary. If the game is not bloody and scary, I will not be interested in playing it. Female player Liu Zhu asked Chen Wei, "Don't worry, I can't say anything else, but the bloodiness and horror will definitely exceed your imagination. I can tell you that this is the scariest game in history. I can't say there will be no successor, but there will be no predecessors. When you really play it, you will understand what I said." Chen Wei's expression was slightly meaningful. Ha 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 ha. That's good. Liu Zhu laughed. Hearing her laughter, Jin felt that this woman seemed a little perverted. However, Jin's curiosity has been aroused. He is alone and has no parental supervision. He has played many computer games and mobile games over the years, including horror games. When he first came into contact with those horror games, especially when he played alone in the middle of the night without turning on the lights, he did feel a little scary, but now nothing can scare him. I don't know if the horror of this mobile game can make him regain the feeling when he first came into contact with horror games. It's too late, you can rest. Let's continue tomorrow. Chen Wei looked at the time and said to everyone, it was already past midnight. Let's install the game first. It's the best time to play horror games alone in bed. Liu Zhu suggested to Chen Wei. What about you? Chen Wei looked at Jin Ke and Tao Mumu. Let's install it first and then rest. Tao Mumu said, and Jin Ke nodded. Under Chen Wei's guidance, everyone installed the game on their mobile phones. Jin glanced at their mobile phones. Huawei, Vivo, Mobile phones of various brands. Jin Ke still used the Xiaomi mobile phone in Xue'er's cradle. The mobile phone in Xue'er's cradle seemed to have some connection with this game and this studio. Using this mobile phone to play this mobile game may make it easier to find clues about Xue'er's life experience. In addition, those plug-in programs should allow him to save a lot of effort when playing games. Playing mobile games is a pastime, but it may become boring after becoming a job, such as making items and leveling up. It will definitely be a lot easier to deal with those boring things in the game with plug-ins. The official version of the game was quite large, and it took everyone more than 10 minutes to install it. Chapter 12. Survivors of the Disaster. Now it's time to create a character. We are a real name studio, so the game characters are also real name. You need to fill in some information first, and then follow the procedure step by step. The real name information needs to be submitted for review. If the review fails, it will be sent back for refilling. If it fails 3 times, that's a pity. It means that you did not fill in the real information, and you will lose this job. Chen Wei continued to explain to everyone. Jin Ke was based on a principle anyway. Everything else is fine, but paying money is absolutely not. With this principle, he did not fill in the information randomly. The name, age, gender, height, weight, etc. were all carried out step by step according to the above requirements. Then, it came to the last step. Staff member Luo Ye took out something similar to a tablet computer and filmed each person, asking them to shake their heads, nod, blink, open their mouths, etc. This is the procedure required by other websites for real name authentication. But there are more than 10 kinds of expressions such as smiles, anger, surprise, fear, etc., and they were directly uploaded to the server from her tablet computer. After shooting the face, the whole body was shot, shooting each player walking, jumping and other movements. When Luo Ye filmed Jin Ke felt that his spirit seemed to be a little dazed at a certain moment, but it was only for a moment, and he returned to normal the next moment. Maybe I'm too tired these days. Jin Ke shook his head and didn't think much about it. Then the 3 of them recorded the fingerprints of 10 fingers on Luo Ye's tablet and uploaded them to the game server. According to the introduction of tutor Chen Wei, this mobile game uses a special fingerprint binding anti-theft technology to ensure that even if others pick up the phone and log into the game, they cannot operate their characters. As for how ordinary mobile phones in everyone's hands can cooperate to achieve this anti-theft function, it is unknown, but no one has raised any objections to this. After completing all the procedures, they finally reached the interface for creating a game character. In fact, the interface for creating a character is not adjustable. After the previous steps, the character in the game has been automatically created. Jin Ke's character in the game is called Jin Ke. His height, weight, etc. are all real data of Jin Ke in reality, and his face is exactly the same as Jin Ke in reality. TSK, we just took a picture of our faces with a tablet, and now we upload it to the server and apply it to the game character. This technology is amazing. This is the first time I've seen it. Tao Mumu looked at his character with a surprised expression. Have you entered the character interface? My information review failed. Liu Zhu looked unhappy. Did you not fill in your real information? Chen Wei asked Liu Zhu. No, I just filled in my height by 5 centimeters. Do I have to fill in my height without shoes? This can't be the reason, right? Liu Zhu shook her head. Fill in your real height without shoes, and then submit it again. Don't make mistakes again. Each player only has 3 chances. Chen Wei said to Liu Zhu. Okay. Liu Zhu modified the form column and submitted it again. This time it passed quickly. Jin Ke didn't pay attention to what they were doing. At this time, he was looking at the basic attribute indicators of his character. Name, Jin Ke. Occupation, post-disaster survivor. The average value of all the following attributes for normal people is 10 points. Strength, 5.98. Your body lacks muscle. Endurance, 6.13. You obviously cannot work or exercise for a long time. Constitution, 6.89. Your health is not ideal. Intelligence, 12.53. You are smarter than the average person, but you can only be called smart. Speed, 10.97. You run slightly faster than the average person. Agility, 11.85. You have relatively quick skills and reactions. Precision. 10.74. You have a little potential to become a shooter. Charisma. 10.07. You are not ugly. Willpower. 12.23. You have a relatively firm will. Sensing. 12.69. You have a strong sixth sense. Total score. 100.08. The average value of normal people is 100. Comprehensive assessment. You are just an ordinary person. Suggestion. Since your strength, endurance, and physique are so poor, you are not suitable to be a warrior. Your will and induction are relatively high, and the most suitable profession for you is a mage. This is the first time I have seen a game with basic attribute values accurate to 0.01. Jin Ke sighed, and these attribute values also made him feel a little strange. You have to know that in real life, his strength, endurance, physique and the like are really not very good. Some people have said that he is a little smart. Intelligence. He can run 100 meters in less than 13 seconds. If he had not run out of energy in the second half, he should have run in 12 seconds or even 11 seconds. Speed. His operation level in playing games is very high. Although he is not physically strong enough to play football, he is very flexible when he has physical strength. Agility. In addition, he is very persistent in doing things. Once he has determined something, he will stick to it to the end. Will. As for induction, Jin Ke often has this experience in life, that is, when someone looks at him from behind, he often subconsciously turns his head, or when he is about to cross the road at an intersection, he sometimes feels palpitations, and then a car will pass by. I wonder if this is considered induction? In short, Jin Ke felt that this attribute was very consistent with him in the real world. He didn't know if it was a coincidence or some other reason. Why is my charm value only 8 points? Tao Mu next to him was very dissatisfied with one of his attributes. 8 points is not bad. I have seen players with charm values of 5, 6, and even 3 or 4 points. Instructor Chen Wei comforted Tao Mu. Forget it. 8 points is only 2 points away from the full score of 10 points. It can also be called handsome, right? When I was in college, we boys only gave the school beauties in the school 8.5 points. Tao Mu brushed the hair on his forehead and comforted himself. No, you didn't see it clearly. 10 points is just the average value of normal people. 8 points means that you are not even as good looking as ordinary people. Liu Zhu pointed it out for Tao Mu with a charming expression on her face. Don't make up for it like this. Tao Mu's face turned black. She is right, Liu Zioxi said seriously. Damn. Tao Mu looked disappointed. Ha 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 ha. Liu Zhu laughed. It's okay to joke around, but don't reveal your attributes to each other anymore. What future careers does the system recommend for you? Instructor Chen Wei interrupted everyone. The studio has a rule that players' attributes are like their salaries, and they are not allowed to communicate with each other. Even if Chen Wei is a mentor, he can't directly see their attributes from the players' mobile phone screens, but he can ask about the general situation and give them some basic guidance. Shooter. Tao Mu answered Chen Wei. Warrior. Liu Zhu answered Chen Wei. Mage. Jin Ke answered Chen Wei. Chapter 13. The stars in the sky don't speak. Mage? Chen Wei frowned. What's wrong? Jin Ke was a little surprised. Nothing. The mage is the most difficult to train in this game, and the resources consumed are also amazing. Your intuition and will are very high, right? In addition to intuition and will, what other attributes are more outstanding and over 10? Chen Wei asked Jin Ke again. Intelligence, speed, agility, and charm. Jin Ke answered Chen Wei. Is that so? If your speed and agility attributes are over 10, I suggest you go the assassin route, otherwise it will be difficult to develop in the early stage. As for basic training, you can focus on strengthening your speed and agility attributes. Chen Wei mentioned this to Jin Ke. Oh, Jin Ke didn't know much about the game yet, so he couldn't express any opinions for the time being. Okay, you can take a break, or you can log into the game to get accustomed to it. Here is a booklet, one for each person, which contains the layout of the novice training base and the rules and regulations of the novice training base. For various attribute training tasks, just go to the corresponding training area. If you want to undergo advanced professional training, first of all, The basic attributes must meet the standards of professional training. Remember, the game character must not leave the training base without permission, and must strictly abide by the rules and regulations of the training base. In addition, if you want to go offline, you must find a safe place. Going offline in this game is not really going offline. Once you go offline, your character will fall asleep in the game, and you will be injured or die if attacked. Try not to exit the game after you go offline. You can keep your mobile phone with you and turn on the early warning function in the game. Once the character is in danger while sleeping, the mobile phone will sound an alarm. Chen Wei gave the newcomers a few more instructions. Okay, everyone exchanged a few more pleasantries and then went upstairs to their respective rooms. When going up the stairs, Jin Ke's cell phone rang. It was Liu Baoan who called as agreed. Jin Ke reported to him that he was safe. It seems that the person he found is good and responsible. Back in the room upstairs, Xue'er woke up unexpectedly and was lying on the bed eating her little hands. Jin guessed that she might be hungry again, so he made milk powder for her and changed her diaper. After Xue'er was full and had her diaper changed, she didn't seem to be sleepy, but she didn't cry. She just stared at Jin with a pair of big eyes. Are you not used to the new environment and miss your mother? Mom is on the phone. Jin took out his old mobile phone, which recorded a video of Luo Ye singing to coax Xue'er to sleep. I know the stars will sing in the middle of the night, and they will sing with me on the nights when I miss home. I know the breeze in the afternoon will sing, and the cicadas in my childhood will always sing with the wind. When you hold prosperity in your hands, but your mood becomes desolate, you will find that everything in the world will change. In the past, if Xue'er refused to go to bed after 9 o'clock in the evening, Luo Ye would sing this song to coax her to sleep before leaving, and the effect seemed to be very good. Listening to Luo Ye's singing and looking at Luo Ye's slightly sad eyes in the video, Jin Ke seemed to have returned to the time and space when this video was recorded. Although Luo Ye's family was rich, she was not happy. Her parents divorced when she was 5 years old, and her mother never came back to see her after she left. Luo Ye has been living with her father and brother. Her father was busy with the family business and rarely cared about her. Her brother Luo Ye, who joined the army, rarely came home before he was demobilized. When she missed her mother, she always hid in the quilt and cried alone. Perhaps it was for this reason that she had such a strong maternal love for Xue'er, who was abandoned in the snow, and wanted to protect Xue'er from any harm. Luo Ye and Jin talked about this. When she was a child, her mother often sang this song to coax her to sleep, so she also sang this song to coax Xue'er to sleep. Every time she sang this song, she would think of her mother. She hoped that when Xue'er grew up, she would think of her every time she heard this song. Jin joked with Luo Ye at the time, saying that as long as she didn't leave Xue'er, she could keep singing this song to her. Luo Ye didn't respond to Jin's joke, but the expression on her face looked even more sad. She should have anticipated everything that would happen today, and then began to worry, but she never told him. Wasn't Jin the same at that time? He also knew that the three of them would be separated sooner or later, but today all this became a reality. He didn't have time to be sad. Only by becoming strong could he find her back and protect her and Xue'er. For a 17-year-old, there is no other way to become strong. What he can do for the time being is to make some money first. This Jingjai studio and this mobile game may be an opportunity for him. I don't know if Luo Ye is asleep. I really want to call her to report that she is safe and listen to her voice. She must be asleep so late. Or she is being questioned by her family, right? Forget it. I won't disturb her. I'd better wait for her call. When youth is only a diary, the black hair will turn into white hair. The only thing that remains unchanged is that song, singing back and forth in my heart. The stars in the sky don't speak, and the dolls on the ground miss their mothers. The eyes in the sky blink, and my mother's heart is like lupine. Xue'er listened to Luo Ye's singing on the phone, and her eyes began to become a little dazed. Looking at Xue'er's dazed expression and listening to Luo Ye's singing in the video, Jin felt that his eyes became blurred. He shook his head quickly and controlled his sad emotions. Xue'er rubbed her eyes after she became confused, as if she was going to sleep, but she still opened her eyes from time to time to look at Jin. Jin turned off the lights in the room, quietly squatted and hid behind the chair, then turned down the volume of the phone, and Luo Ye's singing became distant. Xue'er couldn't see Jin Ke, and after crying for a few times, she fell asleep by herself. Jin Ke was very confused and didn't feel sleepy for the time being. He checked the whole circle of quilts and pillows placed around Xue'er, and after making sure she was safe, he moved a chair to the bathroom door with the light on, turned on his phone and logged into the Horror City game. After entering the game, Jin Ke found that his character appeared in a room. Looking at the layout of the room, Jin Ke felt a little familiar. He looked up at the room he was living in now, and then he found that the room in the game was actually similar to the furnishings of the room he was living in now. But if you look closely, there are still some differences. The furniture in the room in the game is very shabby, and all the furniture in the room he is living in now is new. Of course, the biggest difference is that he has Xue'er by his side, but he doesn't have Xue'er by his side in the game. Jin Ke thought of Xue'er, a smile appeared on his lips, and then he controlled his character to walk to the door, opened the door and walked out of the room. It is called the most terrifying game in history. What is so terrifying about it? Chapter 14. He is Xue'er's father. Luo's house. Yeah, I'm an experienced person. Tell me the truth, is Xue'er really your child? You can fool others, but you can't fool me. I know you are not pregnant and have no children. A woman in her 20s sitting opposite Luo Ye asked her. The woman's name is Gujiao. She is Luo Ye's wife and Luo Ye's sister-in-law. Xue'er is not my child. I picked her up in the snow. Luo Ye had no choice but to admit it. The eldest brother is like a father. Luo Ye has a family business to take care of and doesn't have much time to take care of Luo Ye. Luo Ye's daily life is now mostly taken care of by his sister-in-law Gujiao. The two seem to have a close relationship on weekdays. In Gujiao's opinion, they can talk about almost everything. After knowing Xue'er's affairs, Gujiao was entrusted by Luo Ye to have a long talk with Luo Ye tonight. As an experienced person, Gujiao asked Luo Ye many details about pregnancy and childbirth. Luo Ye's answers were full of loopholes in front of the old driver, and finally had to admit the fact that Xue'er was picked up from the snow. It's good that you didn't give birth to the child. I know you are kind-hearted. You can't bear to see kittens and puppies suffer from cold and hunger when you meet them on the road, let alone a baby. If you really can't bear to part with Xue'er, at worst we can take her over and let me raise her together. Why do you have to lie to the school and say that you gave birth to the child? Although it is not a feudal society now, a girl's reputation is still very important, especially for a big family like our Luo family. Gujiao continued to talk to Luo Ye. Luo Ye didn't say anything, and I don't know what he was thinking. By the way, that boy, his name is Jin Ke, right? You just put Xue'er with him and gave him money to help raise her. Nothing happened between you and him, right? Gujiao pretended to talk about another topic casually. She was entrusted by Luo Ye to find out the real situation between Luo Ye, Xue'er and Jin Ke, and then decide how to deal with this slightly tricky matter next. No, there is nothing between him and me. He is a very responsible person. I just feel more at ease leaving Xue'er with him. Luo Ye shook his head. That's good. So you don't have any feelings for him, right? Gujiao continued to ask. Faced with this question, Luo Ye was silent. Yeah, your brother has already investigated. Jin Ke is an orphan. He lives alone after losing both his parents. I believe you don't really have any feelings for him, but just pity, right? Gujiao's face sank. Seeing Luo Ye's silence, she knew that the thing she was most worried about had happened. No, he is a very strong, independent and excellent boy. He doesn't need anyone's pity. He and I. Luo Ye bit his lip. Excellent? How long have you known him? How well do you know him? Can you use this word for him? Alas. Yeah. You are too naive and too gullible. You, Gujiao sighed. Stop talking. I don't have any emotional entanglement with him. No, not at all. Luo Ye lowered her head. What she said was the truth. In the 3 months she had been with Jin Ke, the two had never touched on emotional topics. At most, they talked about Xue'er and each other's experiences. Most of the time, she was talking and Jin Ke was listening. Many unknown pains that had been suppressed deep in her heart over the years seemed to be relieved a lot after she told him. Jin Ke was mature beyond his age. He and she had the same melancholy eyes and the same pain hidden deep in their hearts. but he was very strong and never showed it. Many times, Luo Ye felt that Jin Ke was another her, only he could understand her world, and only she could see the melancholy in his eyes. It's good that there is no emotional entanglement. You just treat him as an ordinary friend, right? Gu Jiao carefully observed Luo Ye's expression. She sensitively realized that things didn't seem to be that simple. No, he is Xue'er's father, and I am Xue'er's mother. Luo Ye corrected Gu Jiao. Xue'er is not Ye's daughter. She admitted that she was picked up. That's good. Alas, things are a bit tricky. Gu Jiao sat at the head of the bed, looking very solemn. What do you mean? Luo Ye, who was sitting next to Gu Jiao, turned around. He was busy with the family business. He hadn't asked about his sister Luo Ye for a long time. As a result, such a thing happened, which made him feel guilty as a brother. If Ye only has feelings for Xue'er, it's okay. At most, we can just bring Xue'er home. She seems to have feelings for that boy. Gu Jiao answered Luo Ye. It's normal. 17 or 18 years old. The age of ignorance. Ye lacks family care on weekdays. Someone pretending to care about her can easily get into her heart. Luo Ye took a deep breath and lay down on the bed. How can we make up for it now? Gu Jiao asked Luo Ye. He worked very hard every day. She stayed at home and tried to share some of the burden for him. Unexpectedly, Luo Ye got into trouble. This made her feel that she was a dereliction of duty as a wife. It's very simple. At their age, feelings come and go quickly. You put down your work, spend more time with her on weekdays, take her out to meet more people, and meet some excellent boys in the circle. Soon she will forget about that poor boy. Luo Ye thought about it and answered Gu Jiao. But if there is still contact between them, this kind of relationship may be more difficult to break. Gu Jiao was still very worried. I have confiscated Ye's mobile phone card. If that guy looks for her again, he will find me here. Now WeChat and QQ are so developed, can't we still contact each other without a mobile phone card? How about this? Ye's reputation has been ruined, and it is estimated that she can't stay in the current school. I have to find a new school for her. I have an idea. Luo Ye pondered. What's your idea? Don't we have an unoccupied villa in the Wheelan Garden community in Huang City? I'll arrange for someone to clean it and buy furniture and appliances in the next 2 days. You can take here and move there to live, and separate them from each other first. There is a fully enclosed aristocratic school near Wheelan Garden. As long as you keep a close eye on them, they will never have the chance to meet again. Luo Ye told his plan. That's a good idea. By the way, I have a distant cousin, Li Xue'er, who is the same age as Ye and is also in high school. Why not arrange for her to go to that aristocratic school first? After Ye goes there, let Xue'er make friends with Ye and help us secretly monitor Ye's every move. Gu Jiao proposed to Luo Ye. Okay, we will cover all of Xue'er's expenses at the school. Just ask for any extra expenses you need to help monitor her. Let her find a way to be Ye's best friend and gain Ye's trust. It would be best if Ye is willing to tell her everything she thinks, so that we don't have to worry. Luo Ye agreed to Gu Jiao's proposal. Okay, I'll arrange it right away. I'll take Ye to the Azure Homeland in a week. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15. What's out there? Wheelan Home Community. Jin Ke opened the door and walked out. There was a corridor outside the room, and there were about 7 or 8 rooms in a row. All the doors were closed. The long corridor and dim lights made the scene look a bit gloomy. It was really exciting to play this kind of game in the middle of the night. After walking a few steps, Jin Ke found that there was a watch on the hand of the game character. After trying it, it turned out to be a prop that could not be removed. After touching the watch with his finger, he could open his attribute panel and check the basic attributes of the game character. Isn't there an icon for checking attributes on the edge of the screen? The design of the watch seems a bit redundant. At the end of the corridor is a staircase. The staircase is made of wood. It creaks when walking on it, which makes people feel very weird. After going down the stairs, He came to the hall on the first floor. There was a man and a woman in the hall who were talking excitedly, perhaps arguing. Jin Ke recognized the man as Tao Mu who entered the game with him at a glance, but he didn't know the woman. After seeing another player appear, Jin Ke's just accumulated sense of fear disappeared instantly. To put it bluntly, horror games should be a one-person thing. Once it becomes an online game, seeing other players in the game feels like being in a public place. No matter how much you want to be afraid, you can't be afraid. Tao Mu saw Jin Ke and walked towards him. Then the system popped up a prompt. Player Tao Mu is talking to you. You can turn the conversation into subtitles in the settings. If you want to listen to the audio directly, please turn on the mobile phone audio or put on headphones. Jin Ke thought about it and found the mobile phone headphones and put them on his ears. After clicking the ellipsis on Tao Mu, he heard what he had just said. Haha, the NPCs in this game are very different. They can actually communicate with voice and understand what I say. Even my teasing words can understand her, and she can also curse me. Tao Mu's voice came from the headphones. This sentence was obviously said by him before. The system can retain it for a period of time. Just click the ellipsis above his head to hear it again. I don't know if it's because Jin Ke ignored him for a long time. Tao Mu walked out of the first floor hall after saying these words, and went to explore somewhere unknown. Jin Ke walked towards the female NPC, who glanced at him and lowered her head. She was reading a book in her hand. Hello, Jin Ke whispered to the phone. What's the matter? The female NPC raised her head. She was obviously not very happy. It seemed that the conversation between Tao Mu and her just now was not very pleasant. What should I do now? Jin Ke talked to the female NPC for no reason. Of course, he just wanted to try whether what Tao Mu said about NPCs being able to understand what players say is true. How do I know? If there is any problem with the room, you can come to me. Don't bother me for other things, okay? The female NPC seemed a little angry. Jin Ke left speechlessly. No, can this NPC really understand what he said? This program is too smart, right? What kind of technology is this? Up to now, Jin Ke still hasn't figured out what's so scary about this game that claims to be the most terrifying mobile game in history. How about go out and take a look first? Jin Ke looked at the map of the novice training base given by his mentor Wei. The novice training base is located in a deep mountain with only one exit. From the exit is a long main corridor with more than 10 branch corridors, leading to the training area, dormitory area, breeding area, entertainment area and other areas with different functions. After pushing open the door of the lobby on the first floor, Jin Ke came to the branch corridor outside. After walking forward for dozens of meters according to the map, he entered the main corridor. The main corridor is more than 200 meters long. Jin Ke walked to the end, which is the exit of the novice training base. There is a large iron door at the exit of the training base, which is currently closed. Two people who look like security guards stopped him. What do you want to do? A security guard asked Jin Ke. I want to go out and take a look. Jin Ke answered the security guard. Of course, he didn't really want to go out, but it was his inertia to play games. No matter what scene he was in, he would first determine the edge of the scene that could be reached, and then explore one area at a time. In addition, this was the first time that he used voice to communicate with NPCs in a mobile game, and he also wanted to try it more to see how smart this mobile game was. A newcomer? The security guard's expression seemed a little mocking. Yeah, do you have an entry and exit permit? The security guard asked Jin Ke again. No. Jin Ke checked his props bar, and there was obviously no such thing in it. You can't go out without a permit, and you're just looking for death if you go out like this. The security guard looked at Jin Ke with disdain. Is it scary outside? It's a little safer during the day. Going out at this time at night, humph, unless you want to die. The security guard seemed a little impatient. What's outside at night? So scary? Jin Ke continued to ask the security guard. You'll know when you get the permit and go out. I hope you can come back alive after you go out. The security guard waved his hand at Jin Ke, not ready to continue talking. After confirming that he could not leave the training base and knowing that he had to get a permit to leave the training base, Jin Ke walked back along the long corridor. This time, his target location was the training area. From the map, The training area was very large. It was not easy to build such a large training base in the mountains, but since it was a mobile game, it didn't matter. In Jin Ke's opinion, the scene map in the game could be as large as he wanted, as long as he made enough environmental maps. Speaking of environmental maps, Jin Ke felt that this mobile game was really fine. There was no trace of maps and jagged edges on the phone. Every scene was very realistic, and it felt like it was taken from a real scene. The key was that there was no lag in the picture despite such a real scene. I don't know what engine the game company used, and the optimization was so good. It might be difficult for the existing mobile phone performance to achieve this effect. By the way, this Xiaomi phone is not an ordinary phone. It may have played the best effect of this game. It might not work for ordinary phones in other people's hands, right? However, these are not what Jin Ke needs to worry about. Now that he has preliminarily confirmed that this studio is not a pyramid scheme, and the other party has also advanced him tomorrow's salary, he must abide by the spirit of the contract and work hard to do his job well to keep his daily salary. The training area is divided into two major areas, the primary area and the intermediate area, and there is no advanced area. The primary area is divided into several areas, including strength training area, endurance training area, speed training area, agility training area, intelligence training area, will training area, etc., but there is no physical training area or sensory training area. Chapter 16. Activate the training hack. Strength training and endurance training should both enhance physical fitness, right? Speed training and agility training should both enhance physical fitness, so there is no physical fitness training area. There is no sensory training area. I guess either sensory training is not easy to train, or this training base does not meet the requirements of sensory training. Sure enough, when checking the instructions of the training ground, both strength training and endurance training mentioned that physical fitness can be enhanced. In the intermediate area, there are tank training areas, warrior training areas, shooter training areas, assassin training areas, and mage training areas. But the mage training area has a sign saying not open for the time being. If you want to enter the intermediate area for training, your basic attributes must meet certain standards. The standard for entering the tank training area is that strength and endurance reach 12 or above, speed and agility reach 8 or above, and physical fitness reaches 15 or above. The standard for entering the warrior training area is that strength reaches 15 or above, speed and agility reach 8 or above, and endurance and physical fitness reach 12 or above. The standard for entering the archer training area is that strength and endurance are both above 8, agility and speed are both above 12, and accuracy is above 15. The standard for entering the assassin training area is that strength and endurance are both above 8, speed and accuracy are both above 12, and agility is above 15. Although the mage training area is not open for the time being, the standard for entering the mage training area is also marked above. The standard for entering the mage training area is that endurance and physique are both above 8, intelligence and will are both above 12, and induction is above 15. Jin Ke opened the attribute panel and checked his attributes again. Strength, 5.98, endurance, 6.13, speed 10.97, accuracy, 10.74, agility, 11.85. It seems that the most suitable profession for him at this stage is indeed assassin. When Jin Ke was playing games before, he was best at the shooter and assassin professions. Of course, he also played tanks, warriors, and mages, but he played the shooter and assassin the most. According to his basic attributes, he felt that it would be more appropriate for him to play the assassin in this game. Mentor Chan Wei also suggested that Jin Ke train speed and agility to go the assassin path. Jin Ke analyzed it and decided to train strength and endurance first to meet the basic requirements of assassin training, and then train other basic attributes. According to Jin Ke's previous experience in playing games, physical fitness is equivalent to health points. If the health points are too low, it is easy to die in the game. So, Jin Ke walked into the strength training field first. After entering the strength training field, Jin Ke found that the so-called strength training field is actually the kind of gym in reality, with various equipment for training arm strength. leg strength, waist strength, back strength, hand strength, and foot strength. There was no coach on site, but there were instructions for strength training on the wall, and instructions for use of each piece of equipment. According to these instructions, you can clearly know what equipment you should use to train what aspect of strength. It is even simpler for players. Just touch the corresponding training equipment with your fingers to automatically start a certain training. Jin Ke's whole body strength is very weak. After observing for a while, he decided to practice arm strength first. Walking to a barbell equipment for training arm strength, Jin Ke lay down and controlled his character in the game to start strength training by pushing the barbell. Push. Can't push. There is a weight loss button next to it, so Jin Ke reduced the weight. Still can't push. Reduce the weight again. Finally pushed, but after pushing once, Jin Ke's physical strength was exhausted, and his character in the game lay there panting and unable to move. Damn, my physical condition is too bad, right? It's so embarrassing. Jin Ke shook his head, feeling a little depressed. Fortunately, it was the middle of the night and there were no other players nearby, not even an NPC. After resting for about 2 minutes, Jin Ke's character's strength in the game slowly recovered, so he controlled it to push the barbell again, but the character was out of breath and unable to move again. Isn't this kind of mobile game too boring to play? Click once every 2 minutes, and it's just pushing the barbell once. It's a torture to one's nerves. Also, when will there be a prompt to improve the strength attribute? Jin Ke yawned and looked at the time on his phone. It was already past 1 in the morning. I'd better go to sleep and continue tomorrow. When Jin Ke was about to log off, he received a system warning, reminding him that he couldn't log off here. If he wanted to log off, he had to go back to his dormitory. Jin controlled his character to get off the fitness equipment. When he was about to return to the dormitory to log off, a prompt with a font that was different from the one in the mobile game appeared on his mobile phone screen. Do you want to activate the training cheat? Can you use cheats? Great. Jin Ke was pleasantly surprised. In the mobile phone he got from Xue'er swaddling clothes, all the other apps except the QQ app were labeled as cheats. When he passed the studio assessment, he used cheats to achieve an excellent score of 3S. A successful mobile game should not allow cheats to exist, right? These cheats are unlikely to be built into the game. They must have been obtained from somewhere by the original owner of the phone. Jin confirmed that the cheats were activated, and the cheat program popped up a line of prompts, asking him to go to the canteen of the training base to confirm the path, so that his game character can go to the canteen to buy food on his own after being hungry due to training, and continue training after replenishing his physical strength. Jin Ke followed the requirements of the cheat and went to the canteen to confirm the path. The canteen of the new training base is open 24 hours a day, charging a certain fee for the trainees, but only provides some cold food, such as boiled eggs, during non-meal times. These eggs must be provided by the breeding area of the base, right? The protein in eggs is very good for training strength. After setting the automatic purchase of eggs and other foods, Jin Ke handed his character over to the plugin to operate. Sure enough, his character began to find its own way in strength training, which avoided Jin Ke's boring operation, and also allowed him to train and improve the character's strength while sleeping. Jin Ke's newly created character has a card in the prop column, which has 500 contribution points stored in it. Eggs need contribution points to buy, and 1 egg is worth 1 contribution point. If the contribution points are used up, the character needs to work in the training base to earn them. If there are no contribution points to exchange for food, the character will starve to death in the game. In the early morning, around 4 o'clock, Jin Ke felt as if someone was touching his face. He suddenly woke up and looked at Xue'er beside him. Xue'er was still sleeping soundly, and she was only 6 months old now, so it was impossible for her to come over and touch his face. His body was sore everywhere, especially his arms, as if he had done heavy physical work all day. Chapter 17. Eat it or not. Is he sick? But there are no other symptoms. When Jin Ke went to the bathroom, he picked up the mobile phone he was playing the game on. Jin Ke had not turned off his phone after hanging up last night. This magical phone had not been charged since it was automatically woken up at home last night, but now the battery is still full. It does not look like an ordinary phone. There are many prompts in the game history. After clicking to check, Jin Ke was surprised to find that his strength attribute had been increased 15 times, each time by 0.01 points. Now his strength has increased to 6.13. The strength training plan formulated by the plugin is much more reasonable than he thought. It is not just to train arm strength, but to conduct comprehensive training of his whole body strength. For example, the barbell push project has been reduced in weight, avoiding the embarrassment of having to rest for several minutes after each training. After the reasonable arrangement of the plugin, his character hardly rested. Arm strength, leg strength, waist strength, back strength, and even wrist strength, ankle strength, etc. When training in a certain aspect, other parts of the body get a rest, thus maximizing the use of time. These historical records not only show the improvement of strength attributes, but also his strength training has increased his endurance by 0.02, reaching 6.15, and his physique by 0.05, reaching 6.94. Even, strength training has increased his charm by 0.01. After a good sleep, the attributes have been improved so much by themselves. This plugin is really cool. When he returned to the bed, Xue'er woke up, pouting her little mouth as if she wanted to cry. Jin quickly made milk powder for her. After feeding her, Xue'er fell asleep again. Jin was sleepy and tired, so he fell asleep quickly. When Jin woke up the next morning, his muscles were even more sore. Am I sick? Jin had experienced before. When he was sick, especially when he had a fever, his whole body would ache. However, when he touched his forehead, he didn't seem to have a fever, and he didn't have any other cold symptoms, just that his muscles were sore all over. It should be because I ran away with Xue'er for a whole day yesterday, and my arms and body were overexerted, right? Jin thought of a reason. The character in the phone was still training various basic attributes under the operation of the plugin. The character's strength increased to 6.25, endurance increased to 6.17, and constitution increased to 6.98. But the charm did not continue to increase. Overnight, the character's strength increased by 0.27 and constitution increased by 0.09. At this rate, if he continued to train his strength, it would be no problem for his strength to increase to 9 points in half a month. After a month, he would definitely have a strength that exceeds the average of ordinary people. I just don't know how long the character can stay in the training base. If he stayed there, Jin would not have any objections. What kind of horror is outside the training base? Although Jin was somewhat curious, compared with this stable job and salary, of course, the job and salary are more important. For the sake of curiosity, if he ran outside the training base and got hung up, losing this job would be a loss. After washing up, Jin felt particularly hungry. He went down to the restaurant on the first floor and found that only the logistics staff Luo Ye was guarding there. Although the others had not come down yet, a sumptuous buffet breakfast had been prepared in the restaurant. There were Chinese fried dough sticks, noodle nests, buns, steamed buns, porridge, braised eggs, noodles, boiled corn, etc., as well as Western bread, noodles, macaroni, fruit salad, pizza, and various Western pastries. Can I eat now? Jin asked Luo Ye. Yes. Luo Ye smiled at Jin. Jin felt particularly hungry. He ate 2 fried dough sticks, 4 noodle nests, 5 buns, 6 braised eggs, and drank a large bowl of porridge. Finally, he felt that he was no longer so hungry. Although he was not hungry, Jin could still continue to eat. Why did my appetite increase so much overnight? Could it be because these foods are free? It would be a waste if I didn't eat them. Jin thought of the reason. When Jin had almost finished eating, Chen Wei, Tao Mu, and Liu came to the restaurant, took the food, and sat down at the table. Good morning, everyone greeted each other. This game is too boring. We are not allowed to leave the training base, and the various trainings are also very boring. I couldn't play it after playing for a while last night. Tao Mu complained to Chen Wei while eating. After he installed the game last night, he first flirted with the female NPC downstairs and was scolded. Later, He went to the training ground for a while and went back to the dormitory to log off. Indeed, the game's graphics are very beautiful, but the content is too boring. Where is the horror? It's just walking around in a base, and I didn't see a ghost. Liu Zu echoed a few words. She only tried it last night and then logged off. The scary things are all outside the base. In order not to die outside as soon as you go out, it would be better for you to stay in the training base for a while and try your best to improve your physical attributes before considering leaving the base. Chen Wei made a few suggestions to the two. Is there any plugin for this game? This boring training is too torturous. It would be great if we could use plugins. Liu Zu mentioned it to Chen Wei. Don't fantasize. This game can't have cheats. If you want to play this game well, you must have enough perseverance and determination. Otherwise, why would the company pay you 200 yuan a day to play? Chen Wei shook his head. Why can't there be cheats? The studio has a strategy for this game. If there are cheats, our efficiency will be much higher. Liu Zu was very disappointed and unwilling. I haven't heard that the studio has cheats. I have a friend who is a game developer. He is a senior game producer in a large company and a master of making game cheats. He is also playing this game and thinks that the training of this game is boring. He once thought about making a cheat for this game. As a result, he studied the code and principles of this game for a whole month and didn't understand it clearly. He later asserted that it is impossible for this mobile game to have cheats, and it is impossible to have any form of cheating. Chen Wei answered Liu Zu. Jin Ke listened calmly. It seems that only the mobile phone in Xue'er's cradle can use cheats, and it can be used in this game to help him make money. What standards do we have to meet before we can leave the training base? Tao Mu asked Chen Wei another question. It will be okay once the sum of your basic attribute values reaches 120. Chen Wei replied to Tao Mu. Oh my god, reach 120? How long will that take? Tao Mu was dumbfounded. Chapter 18 Strange Picture. You will have a 3-month internship after entering the studio. It is enough to reach a total of 120 basic attributes within 3 months. If the total basic attributes still do not reach 120 after 3 months, I'm sorry, it means that you have not worked hard to improve yourself. At that time, the studio will conduct a comprehensive assessment of you to determine whether to dismiss you or extend your position for 2 months. According to my experience, as long as newcomers work hard enough in these 3 months, it is not difficult to reach a total of 120 attribute values. Chen Wei explained to Tao Mu patiently. 3 months. For 3 long months, we can only stay in the training base to carry out this boring and tedious training operation. Oh my, is this a mobile game? Is this deliberately torturing people's nerves? Tao Mu hit his head on the dining table in front of him. No wonder the daily salary is 200 yuan. It turns out that money is not easy to make. Liu Zu was also speechless about this. She and Tao Mu did not reach 3S during the assessment, but only met the minimum requirements of the studio, so they only received a daily salary of 200 yuan. Jin Ke did not say anything. His daily salary was 500 yuan. In addition, he did not feel bored with the game by using plugins. His total attribute value increased by 0.41 overnight. He should be able to increase this much or more during the day. This means that he can increase the total attribute value by about 1 point a day. Maybe after 20 days, he can reach the standard of leaving the training base. However, Jin Ke is different from Tao Mu and Liu Zu. He is not in a hurry to leave the training base. He needs this job, no matter how boring it is, as long as he can get money. Moreover, the longer he stays in the training base, the higher his basic attributes will be. With high basic attributes, he will have stronger survival ability outside after leaving the training base. You should know that the most important rule in the studio's management regulations is that the created character cannot die. Once the character dies, it means that the employment contract with the studio is terminated, and he will lose this well-paid job. This job may not be important to others, but it is very important to Jin Ke. It is the foundation for him to support himself and Xue'er. With this foundation, he can consider more other things. He must first make some money, and then use this money to make more money, so that he can become strong enough in this society, enough to protect Xue'er's safety, and let her grow up happily in the future. After breakfast, Chen Wei returned to his room. and Jin Ke also returned to his room. He had to take care of Xue'er. In addition, he had to plug in for automatic training, and he didn't want to be seen by others. Tao Mumu and Liu Zu were operating their phones and chatting on the first floor. Tao Mumu's phone rang. It was a friend of his. Go to your company? Basic salary of 10,000, okay. I'll go there right away. A friend of Tao Mumu called and said that he had found a good job for him, 10,000 a month, and 5 insurances and 1 housing fund, which was obviously much higher than his current daily salary of 200, so he was tempted as soon as he heard it. Such a high salary? Is your friend's company still recruiting? Liu Zu, who was sitting on the sofa next to him, asked Tao Mumu enviously. There is only one vacancy for now. If there are other opportunities, I will keep an eye out for you. I will go to Director Chen to resign now. Tao Mumu replied to Liu Zu. This promise was obviously just a casual remark. He and Liu Zu had only known each other for 1 day. It was impossible for him to do such a favor without any benefits. Tao Mumu originally wanted to go upstairs to find Chen Wei, but after thinking about it, he sat back down. Doesn't the studio have a rule? It says that if a character in the game dies, the work contract with the studio will be automatically terminated. When he was playing this mobile game last night, he found some strange things in the game, so he took this opportunity to experiment. The strange thing about the game is, when he met the female NPC in the game, there was actually an option in that aspect, which means that he could force them to do things they shouldn't do. Isn't this too exciting? Since he was leaving, he might as well try it and see if some strange scenes would appear. Tao Mumu sat back on the sofa, controlled his character to leave the room where he lived during the rest period, went down to the lobby on the first floor of the new dormitory, approached the female NPC he had chatted with last night, and clicked the option without saying anything. The female NPC struggled violently, and then, some strange images appeared on the phone screen. The female NPC's cry for help attracted a middle-aged man in the base, who rushed over to try to stop Tao Mumu. Tao Mumu thought that he was not going to play this game anyway, so he simply grabbed a chair beside him as a weapon and swung it at the middle-aged man who was approaching. The middle-aged man was hit on the head and fell to the ground before he could dodge. Tao Mumu rushed over and hit the man on the ground several more times, killing him. The female NPC took the opportunity to run to the corridor outside and continued to shout for help. More people gathered around, and some security guards rushed over here. After learning about the situation, they took out their sticks and surrounded Tao Mumu. Tao Mumu was waving the chair in his hand with great enthusiasm, ready to play a match of wush-wang fighting to knock down the security guards who were surrounding him. He never thought that these security guards were well trained. One of the security guards took advantage of the fact that the other security guards attracted Tao Mumu's attention and hit Tao Mumu with a quick club from behind, causing him to spin in a circle. Then the other security guards rushed over and hit Tao Mumu on the head with clubs. Tao Mumu's screen turned blood red, and a line of prompts popped up. You are dead. Okay, I resign automatically. Tao Mumu turned off the screen of his mobile phone and put the phone back on his body. Just when Tao Mumu was considering whether to go upstairs to say hello to his mentor Chen Wei and then leave, his mentor Chen Wei rushed down from upstairs with a serious look on his face. I just received a system prompt. Why are you dead? Chen Wei rushed to Tao Mumu and asked him loudly. I don't want to play anymore, so I just committed suicide. Haha, this game is really realistic. I just killed a female NPC in the game, and also killed a man, and then was beaten to death by a group of security guards. Tao Mumu looked indifferent. You. Chen Wei stared at Tao Mumu for a long time and couldn't say anything. This training base is really boring, and the basic salary of 200 yuan a day is too low. My friend helped me find a job with a basic salary of 10,000 yuan. I was about to resign with you. Tao Mumu explained to Chen Wei, if you don't want to play anymore, don't cause trouble in the training base. It will affect other newcomers. Chen Wei looked very unhappy. Chapter 19 All disappeared. Oh, sorry, I worked 1 day in the company. I don't want the salary. It's compensation. Tao Mumu took out 200 yuan from his pocket and handed it to Chen Wei. He didn't take Chen Wei's words seriously. It was just a game. His character committed suicide. How could it affect other newcomers? Forget it. Ignorance is not a crime. You can go. Chen Wei shook his head and didn't take the money from Tao Mumu. He just looked at Tao Mumu with a pitying look. Liu Zioxi, a logistics staff member, also came to the first floor hall and looked at Tao Mumu, hesitating to speak. Then everyone, goodbye. Tao Mumu collected the money and waved to everyone, then picked up his bag and walked out of the first floor hall of the villa. The office building where Tao Mumu's friend's company was located was previously located near the suburbs, but Huang City has developed rapidly in recent years. In just 1 or 2 years, various buildings have sprung up in the area around the office building, making it extremely lively. When Tao Mumu arrived near the office building, there were cars coming and going on the street, and pedestrians were passing by on the sidewalk from time to time. A police car stopped on the street near him, and 2 policemen got out of the car and walked into a store on the street, as if something happened. This teacher Chen is really interesting. I just came here to stay for 1 night and have breakfast. How big of a deal is it that the game character committed suicide? And they still say that ignorance is not a crime. Do you want to convict me? Tao Mumu recalled what happened before and couldn't help muttering a few more words. Looking at the office building in front of him, Tao Mumu took out his mobile phone and made a call to his friend to confirm the specific floor where the company was located. The company is on the 6th floor. I have agreed with the HR manager. You can go directly to him when you come here. By the way, the child of the HR manager has just entered junior high school and spent a lot of money on school selection fees. Given our relationship, I won't beat around the bush. When you report, just show some respect to him. It will definitely be of great benefit in the future. The friend told Tao Mumu a few words on the phone. Then, I'll send him a red envelope on WeChat. What do you think is a suitable amount? Tao Mumu asked the friend. Don't send it on WeChat, because that will leave evidence and he won't dare to accept it. Just give him a cash red envelope. As for the amount, the person I introduced last time gave him 2,000. You can give as much as you want. The friend gave Tao Mumu a suggestion. Cash? I don't have so much cash on me. I have to go to the bank first and come over later. Okay, call me when you come over later. The friend hung up the phone. You can give as much as you want. Others gave 2,000. How can I give less than 2,000? I haven't started to get paid yet. Pay people first. Tao Mumu muttered unhappily. Alas, you can't catch a wolf without sacrificing your child. Good jobs are hard to find. Tao Mumu continued to mutter. He stood on the street outside the office building and looked around. He wanted to stop a taxi to go to a nearby ATM to withdraw some cash. He also wanted to find a small store to buy a red envelope to put the money in. Now we send red envelopes on WeChat, and we still use cash red envelopes. Isn't that low? Tao Mumu continued to complain. Suddenly, he found something wrong. The sky, which was sunny and clear just now, suddenly became gloomy. A strange wind blew on the street in front of the office building, and Tao Mumu subconsciously hugged his body. This strange wind seemed to have brought some things, like black fog. Tao Mumu rubbed his eyes hard, and the black fog in front of him seemed to be lighter, but it was still looming. Why haven't taxis come yet? Tao Mumu looked at both sides of the road in a strange way. Soon he knew something was wrong. It seemed that when he was talking to his friend on the phone, not only did no taxis appear on the street in front of him, but all other vehicles and pedestrians disappeared. The whole street became extremely quiet, so quiet that Tao Mumu even suspected that he was hallucinating. What's going on? Where did everyone go? Tao Mumu looked in a certain direction. For some reason, he suddenly felt a palpitation, which made him very uncomfortable. So he hurriedly ran a few dozen meters in another direction and came to the police car that had just parked on the street. Although the vehicles and pedestrians had disappeared, the cars parked on the roadside were still there. There was no one in the police car. Tao Mumu remembered that 2 policemen got off the police car and went to a store next to it. So he walked to the door of the store. Is there anyone there? Tao Mumu stuck his head into the door of the store and looked inside. The store was also extremely quiet, with no one. What's going on? 2 policemen just walked in. Did something happen? An earthquake? Everyone ran away? Tao Mumu retreated to the street and looked around again in great confusion. Another gust of cold wind blew, making Tao Mumu suddenly feel a biting cold wind. At the same time, More black fog floated on the street. These black fogs changed into various hideous shapes in the air. Tao Mu even heard the howling of a wounded beast. The farther corner of the street seemed to be completely shrouded by the black fog. What the hell is going on? Hey, where are all the dead people? What's in the distance? Is it smog? Tao Mu shouted loudly. As his body became colder, he became more and more frightened. Tao Mu subconsciously picked up his mobile phone, opened the address book, and dialed his friend's number. Hello? Hey, are you upstairs? Go to the window and see what's going on the street. Everyone has disappeared, and there is a lot of fog. Tao Mu said loudly to his friend. You are dead. A low and strange voice came from the other end of the phone. What did you say? Tao Mu was a little surprised by what his friend said to him. Oh, right, the voice on the phone didn't seem to be his friend's voice. Someone was playing a prank. When Tao Mu wanted to say something else, the phone was hung up. It's really a ghost. Tao Mu tried to calm himself down. After thinking for a moment, he decided to go to the 6th floor of the office building to find his friend and see in person what this friend was doing and why he said on the phone that he was dead just now. At this moment, a group of black mist suddenly rushed over to Tao Mu's side, and the black mist quickly condensed into a human figure, which turned out to be the security guard in the rookie training base of the Horror City mobile game. Chapter 20. No signal in the elevator. The human figure was wrapped in a cloud of black fog, making the image of the security guard look quite ferocious. After the security guard appeared, he immediately waved the baton in his hand and swung it at Tao Mu. Damn it, what's going on? Help, the security guard killed someone. Tao Mu turned around and fled into the office building. He ran into the elevator room of the office building in one breath, pressed the up button, and then looked back. The security guard who had just condensed into black fog did not chase him. What's going on? In broad daylight, Tao Mu was still in shock. At this moment, the entire office building lobby suddenly darkened, as if it had entered the night in an instant. Just as Tao Mu was extremely confused and wondering whether to leave here, the elevator in front of him made a ding-dong sound, and the elevator car came down from above. There was a light in the elevator, and the elevator door slowly opened. Just as Tao Mu was about to enter the elevator, he found that the elevator was full of people. Some were missing arms and legs, some were spitting blood, some had blood holes in their heads, some had their eyeballs hanging out of their eye sockets. After the elevator door opened, they all screamed and rushed towards Tao Mu with open arms. Oh my god! Tao Mu turned and ran away, but he ran into the fire escape of the office building in a panic. Tao Mu felt something was wrong and wanted to turn around and find a way out of the office building, but the people who came out of the elevator chased him, stretched out their broken limbs and howled, completely blocking his way back. Tao Mu yelled and rushed to the 6th floor in one breath, broke open the door of the fire escape and entered the corridor, and continued to yell in a mess. Lao Tao, are you here? A man appeared in front of Tao Mu and greeted him. Ah! Tao Mu panted and looked at the man in front of him. It was the friend who helped him find a job. This friend was named Zhang Zixing. Have you packed the red envelopes? Come with me to the HR office, Zhang Zixing asked Tao Mu. No, your office building is haunted. Tao Mu looked behind him with lingering fear. Haunted? Are you hallucinating? Zhang Zixing looked a little surprised. It's true. All the people on the street disappeared, and a group of ghosts appeared in the elevator of the office building. Tao Mu said in a trembling voice. Have all the people on the street disappeared? Zhang Zixing walked to the window next to him and looked down. Tao Mu also rushed over, only to find that the street below was crowded with people and traffic, and the sun was shining brightly, and everything seemed normal. Turning back, Tao Mu found that the office building was very bright everywhere, not as eerie as before after it suddenly got dark. Did I really have an illusion just now? But that illusion was too real, wasn't it? Will you come with me to the HR department to report? Zhang Zixing asked Tao Mu again. Okay. But I haven't prepared the red envelope yet. Just now when I was downstairs. Tao Mu didn't know how to explain. Forget it. Go report first, and I'll give you the red envelope later. Zhang Zixing led Tao Mu to the company. What does the company do? Why is the base salary so high? Tao Mu asked Zhang Zixing as they walked. The company is engaged in forest investment. entrusted afforestation projects, and the monthly interest rate for investing in forests is 10 points. Of course, the base salary is high with such money. It doesn't matter if you don't want to invest after joining the company, as long as you introduce friends to buy forest land. You can also get a high commission of 18 points. Your name is Tao Mumu, and you are most suitable for forest investment. You will definitely make a lot of money in this industry. Zhang Ziqing introduced Tao Mumu endlessly. Isn't this a pyramid scheme? Tao Mumu looked confused. The monthly interest rate was 10 points. It didn't take any thought to know that it was illegal fundraising and pyramid schemes. Don't talk nonsense. The company has a formal business license and owns more than 3,000 acres of forest land in Hebei and Niuling. It's all real economy and has nothing to do with pyramid schemes. Zhang Ziqing immediately denied it. A basic salary of 10,000 yuan requires a certain sales volume, right? Tao Mumu had a hunch that this job might not be so easy to do. He even regretted that he killed his character in the game without asking clearly. In this case, even if he wanted to go back to the studio, it would be impossible. You come here to do office work. There is no sales requirement. You just need to please the company's human resources manager. If you are really worried, you can pack more red envelopes when you come in. Zhang Ziqing began to be evasive. Okay, I'd better find an ATM to withdraw cash and prepare red envelopes. Tao Mumu didn't want to offend his friend, so he decided to find an excuse to leave first. Don't you have money in WeChat? Otherwise, you can transfer 3,000 yuan to me via WeChat and I will help you pack a red envelope. Zhang Ziqing grabbed Tao Mumu's arm. No need. Tao Mumu quickly shook off Zhang Ziqing's hand. Transfer the money to me. Zhang Ziqing's voice suddenly became fierce. Tao Mumu looked back and found that Zhang Ziqing's body was surrounded by the kind of hideous black fog. With Zhang Ziqing's roar, the office building became dark again at some point. Tao Mumu screamed and turned to run towards the elevator. When he came to the elevator panting, an elevator just arrived at this floor and the elevator door opened automatically. There was no weirdo with missing arms and legs in the elevator. Tao Mumu rushed into the elevator and closed the elevator door. Zhang Ziqing, who was surrounded by black fog, staggered to the outside of the elevator. He let out a series of howls similar to those of a wounded beast and kept hitting the elevator door, which scared Tao Mumu in the elevator and made him tremble all over. Fortunately, everything was safe. Zhang Ziqing did not rush in, and the elevator began to slowly descend. What's going on? I'd better call the police. Tao Mumu took out his cell phone and wanted to call the police, but found that there was no signal in the elevator. What error is it? There is no signal in the office elevator. Tao Mumu cursed and had to put the phone away again. The elevator continued to slowly descend. The elevator was extremely quiet. Tao Mumu was afraid and regretful again. Would those weirdos with missing arms and legs suddenly appear in the elevator? If they appeared in the elevator at this time, he would have no way to escape. Fortunately, everything was safe. The elevator went down to the first floor normally, and the elevator door opened automatically. Tao Mumu sighed and walked out of the elevator. After walking out of the elevator and seeing everything in front of him clearly, Tao Mumu couldn't help but be dumbfounded. Isn't this the first floor lobby of the new dormitory in the game? A middle-aged man with a smashed head and blood on his head and face was lying on the ground, and there was a chair covered with blood next to him. Chapter 21. Tao Mumu looked back and saw that the elevator behind him had disappeared and turned into a door. In the corridor outside the door, a woman kept screaming for help. How did I get to the scene of the game? Tao Mumu was a little dumbfounded after recognizing the scene in front of him. Two groups of black mist floated out from not far away and instantly condensed into the shape of two security guards. They waved their sticks and hit Tao Mumu on the head. Tao Mumu subconsciously dodged to the side, but he didn't notice that when the two groups of black mist in front of him condensed into the shape of security guards, several groups of black mist also floated behind him, and also condensed into the shape of security guards. One of the security guards jumped up and hit him on the back of his head with a stick, which immediately made Tao Mumu's head hurt, and his mind was a little confused, and his body staggered. No, help, I was wrong, I don't want to die. Spare me. Tao Mumu cried loudly and begged for mercy from the security guards. The security guards seemed not to hear Tao Mumu's pleas for mercy. They continued to hit Tao Mumu's head with their batons without mercy. At one point, Tao Mumu even heard the sound of his skull breaking. Is all this related to that game? If the character in the game dies, will the player die in real life? This is a fucking fatal mobile game. I regret it. Tao Mumu's last few thoughts flashed through his mind. Someone fainted on the street. Pedestrians on the roadside gathered around. Although no one took the initiative to help Tao Mumu, some kind-hearted people called the police and dialed 124 emergency treatment. Two policemen who were working in a nearby store walked back to the street. After finding that something was wrong, they hurried over to maintain order at the scene. The 120 ambulance came quickly, and several medical staff got off. They diagnosed and treated Tao Mumu on the spot. The doctor's conclusion was not optimistic and it was initially determined that Tao Mumu was dead. Despite this, the ambulance took Tao Mumu to a nearby large hospital. After a diagnosis, it was confirmed that Tao Mumu was indeed dead. The brain specialist in the hospital diagnosed the cause of death as a massive intracranial hemorrhage caused by a sudden rupture of a cerebral aneurysm. The surveillance on the street confirmed that Tao Mumu fainted on his own, and no one attacked him. There were no external injuries on his head or body. The police quickly ruled out the possibility of homicide. Tao Mumu's family was heartbroken. They had never heard Tao Mumu say that he had a cerebral aneurysm or a headache before, but in the end they did not ask the forensic doctor to perform an autopsy. After all, the conclusions of the doctor and the police had ruled out the possibility of homicide. Tao Mumu's misbehavior in the game did cause some trouble for Jin Ke and other new players. The supervisor of the new player training base in the game arranged for people to control Jin Ke and Liu Zhu separately and tested them for violent behavior and personality. Jin Ke and Liu Zhu had to answer many questions in the game. After confirming that the two were normal, they were restored to their freedom. At first, Jin Ke didn't know what had happened to cause these changes in the base. It wasn't until his instructor Chen Wei knocked on his door and came over to remind him that Jin Ke knew about Tao Mumu's bullying of female NPCs in the game, killing people and being beaten to death by security guards. He also understood why the alarm suddenly sounded in the training base. Although Jin Ke regained his freedom after taking a personality test, he also noticed that no matter where he went, there was always a security guard following him intentionally or unintentionally, as if he was worried that he would suddenly go crazy like Tao Mumu. What the game players do causes various logical changes in the training base. This game is really good in terms of interactivity. Jin Ke sighed a few words, and then continued to AFK training. Luo's house. I went to the police station this morning and found two acquaintances to catch that guy. I wanted to scare him, but I didn't expect him to run away. Luo Ye said to his wife Gujiao. He ran away by himself? Wouldn't that be better? It would save us trouble. No, I'm a little worried that he would contact Ye privately, which would make it more difficult for us to deal with him. Luo Ye frowned. He originally wanted to send Luo Ye to Huang City, and let the poor boy Jin continue to stay in Yunfeng City. The two of them were separated by distance and couldn't see each other, so the trouble was solved. Now that Jin Ke was missing, it gave him a headache. Although he confiscated his sister Luo Ye's mobile phone card, there are too many ways to contact people on the internet now. QQ, WeChat. It's simply hard to guard against. When we go to Huang City, I'll ask my cousin to keep a close eye on Ye. It shouldn't be a big problem. Gu Jiao thought about it and persuaded Luo Ye a few words. Well, but I'm still not very reassured. How about this? You do me another thing. Luo Ye pondered for a while and then looked at Gu Jiao. Just say it. I can do anything. Gu Jiao quickly expressed his attitude. Ye still trusts you very much. You go to her, and then, Luo Ye told Gu Jiao his plan. You're not serious, are you? Gu Jiao looked a little worried. That depends on how that boy behaves. If he dares to continue to pester Ye, I can't guarantee what I will do to him then. Luo Ye's face turned sinister. His innocent and kind sister was deceived, and now he is still not sure what Jin Ke has done to Luo Ye, which makes him very angry. I'd better talk to Ye first. If you can stop them from meeting, don't do it. Okay. Gu Jiao knocked on Luo Ye's door, pretending to look back and look around, with a panicked look. "Yeah, there is something I don't know if I should tell you." Gu Jiao lowered her voice. "What happened?" Luo Ye widened his eyes. "That Jin took Xue'er away overnight." Gu Jiao lowered her voice even lower. Oh, Luo Ye was not surprised by this. This was something she and Jin Ke had agreed on. "Your brother is sending people to look for him everywhere, trying to arrest him and put him in jail for the crime of selling babies, with your brother's connections. Once he is caught and put in jail, he will probably die in jail." Gu Jiao continued. "How could my brother do this?" Luo Ye couldn't help but get anxious, and stood up to go out. "To find Luo Ye." "Listen to me first. I came here with good intentions to tell you this secretly. Don't sell me out so quickly." Gu Jiao pushed Luo Ye back to the bed. Luo Ye was a little uneasy, but he still listened to Gu Jiao continue. "If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels." Chapter 22. It should just be a coincidence. The Luo family produces a lot of high-tech electronic products, among which there are monitoring devices for the military and the police. You should know that, right? Gu Jiao had a mysterious expression. "These?" "I'm not very clear." Luo Ye shook his head. "It doesn't matter whether you know these or not, but you have to know one thing. Your brother has a good relationship with the police. The police have also filed a case on Jin's baby trafficking and issued an online wanted notice for Jin. In order to find Jin, your brother has asked the police to monitor everything about you, whether you call Jin, send him text messages, send QQ, send WeChat, etc., or answer his calls, receive his text messages, QQ, WeChat messages, etc. They will lock his location. For his safety, you'd better not contact him. Even if he takes the initiative to contact you, you should not answer his calls or reply to any of his messages. That would harm him. Nowadays, high technology can find out everything." Gu Jiao threatened Luo Ye according to Luo Ye's plan. "Don't do that." Luo Ye frowned. "I don't want your brother to do anything illegal, but you know his temper. Once he makes a decision, no one can change him. Even if you beg him to let Jin go, he may agree to it on the surface, but you don't know what he will do behind the scenes. He hates Jin to death. It's okay if we can't find him, but once we find him, with your brother's temper, he will definitely find someone to kill him. I'm really worried." Gu Jiao looked very worried. "Thank you, sister-in-law, for telling me about this. Fortunately, you told me, otherwise something serious would happen. I have to talk to my brother." Luo Ye was really scared by Gu Jiao. "I told you this behind your brother's back. Don't sell me out, otherwise he will definitely be furious and even ask for a divorce from me." Gu Jiao added a few more words. "I won't." Luo Ye became extremely worried and upset. "You don't have to go back to school these few days. Your brother is going through the transfer procedures for you." "Transfer?" "Well, your reputation in Yunfeng No.1 Middle School has been ruined. Your brother is going to transfer you to a school in Huang City. Otherwise, if you continue to stay here, the rumors will drive you crazy. He has asked someone to clean up the villa in Wheelan Garden these 2 days. I will take you there to live in a few days." "Well, okay." Luo Ye originally wanted to object, but when he heard that he was going to Huang City, he didn't say anything. Jin said that he would take Xue'er to Huang City, but he didn't know where he and Xue'er settled in Huang City. In addition to their mobile phone numbers, she and him had never added each other on QQ. Now she didn't dare to contact him actively. Her mobile phone card was confiscated, and he couldn't contact her. The only thing she could do now was to go to her brother for a good talk without betraying Gu Jiao, and tell him clearly that if he dared to hurt Jin, he would force her to die. Wheelan Garden Community. When it was almost noon, the instructor Chen Wei called Jin and Liu Zhu down from upstairs. When Jin came down, there were 3 more unfamiliar faces on the sofa in the hall on the first floor. They were all new recruits recruited by the Jingjai studio. After listening to their self-introductions, one was named Yu Gang, one was named Luo Jing, and one was named Ni Yu. Jin Ke was impressed by Niu at first sight, because this was a fat man weighing 200 pounds. All 5 of you are members of our group, so today, this is also the first plenary meeting of our group. Instructor Chen Wei was holding a meeting with everyone. This morning, an employee named Tao Mumu resigned. Before he resigned, he did something he shouldn't have done to a female NPC in the game. Chen Wei roughly described what Tao Mumu did in the game that morning. After hearing this, several newcomers burst into laughter, but seeing the serious expression of Instructor Chen Wei, they stopped laughing. I have to tell you a few more things here. Even if you don't want to do this job anymore, please abide by the most basic professional ethics and submit your resignation application according to the normal procedures of the studio. Don't act recklessly in the game like Tao Mumu did, affecting the normal work of other employees and the reputation of the studio. Can you do this? If you can't do it, don't create a character and just resign now. Instructor Chen Wei asked everyone. It was obvious that Tao Mumu's incident gave him a headache. It can be done, everyone answered Chen Wei. After emphasizing the work discipline again, Chen Wei introduced the basic situation of the game to the 3 newcomers who reported today, helped them log into the game and create their own characters, and then started targeted training under Chen Wei's advice. While these newcomers were receiving guidance from Instructor Chen Wei, Jin Ke's mobile phone was still hanging in his pocket. He was browsing the news casually with his mobile phone, and a piece of news caught his attention. A pedestrian died suddenly on the street. The doctor claimed that it was a ruptured brain aneurysm. The weather has changed a lot in recent days. Experts say that it is the peak period for various vascular diseases. This news attracted Jin Ke's attention mainly because of a picture in the news. Although the face of the deceased was mosaiced in the picture, Jin Ke recognized it at a glance by looking at his clothes and figure. The deceased was Tao Mumu, who resigned from the studio this morning. His character in the game died, and then he died in real life. Isn't this too coincidental? He was hit on the head by a security guard in the game and died of a ruptured brain tumor in real life. Is there any connection between death in the game and death in real life? Impossible, right? This kind of thing is absolutely impossible to happen. It should be just a coincidence. Soon Jin Ke stopped thinking about this problem because there was another thing that worried him. Luo Ye hadn't called, and it seemed that her situation was not very good. Her not calling meant that she was controlled by her family. In this case, there was no need for him to call her. He probably wouldn't be able to find her even if he called. In the afternoon, Xue'er's crib was delivered, and Jin Ke trusted Liu Zioxi to buy him various daily necessities such as milk powder and diapers. The main reason why Jin Ke asked Liu Zioxi to buy them instead of buying them himself was that he didn't want anyone to find out his current address based on the courier. In the following days, Jin Ke didn't even leave the villa. With the help of plugins for training, Jin Ke just looked after the characters in the mobile game every day to prevent any unexpected situations from happening to the characters. The rest of the time, he was focused on taking care of Xue'er, playing with her, and holding her on the rooftop to bask in the sun. Babies must supplement with enough vitamin D every day to help absorb calcium in order to grow well. Taking vitamin eye drops is one aspect, and on the other hand, they must get enough sun exposure every day. Chapter 23 I'm not afraid of hard work. When Jin Ke first came here, his muscles ached all over his body. After 2 days, the pain was gone. He could clearly feel that muscles had grown on his arms, and his strength was much greater than before. Could it be because he hugged Xue'er every day? Impossible. He didn't just start hugging her these few days. Could it be related to the mobile game he was playing? Jin Ke always felt that something was wrong, but there were too many things that were not right around him recently, so he decided to observe for a while. The studio would deposit 500 yuan of daily salary into Jin Ke's account on time every day at midnight. Because his character had been staying in the training base for training, there were no tasks to take, so there was no additional commission. This situation now made Jin Ke feel a little unreal. This job was too easy to do, and the money was too easy to make. Food and accommodation, good meals every day, living in a high-end villa. This kind of easy job, easy money, and very good benefits always made people feel that it could not last long. In any job, employees must first create value and profit for the boss before they can get their share of the pay. However, What value and profit has this job created for the boss? At least Jin can't see it yet. Worrying is meaningless, so Jin tries not to think about those things. He just carefully looks after his character in the game, watching the various attributes of the character in the game slowly grow. Now this character means a lot to him, and his and Xue'er's lives all depend on this character. The dormitory area of the training base is very large, with many dormitories. In addition to several new players from Azure Home, there are also players from other places living in it. They don't live in Azure Home in real life. Some players entered the game earlier than Jin and others. Some have already reached the attribute standard and successfully transferred to combat professions, and can even go out on field duty with the NPC combatants of the base. The few people who live in the Azure Home villa with Jin are all new players who have entered the game. They know each other in real life. When they meet in the game, they will greet each other and sometimes get together to chat for a few words. But Jin didn't want his cheat to be discovered, and he was always taciturn, so he didn't talk to these people. Later, other players didn't talk to him much when they saw him. The cheat's automatic training consumed food very quickly, and with the consumption of Jin's character's main meals in the base, after a few days, Jin's character's initial 500 contribution points were exhausted. So he followed the game's prompts and came to the office of the logistics director of the training base to find a job that could earn contribution points. With your current ability, you can't go out on field duty. Now you can only work in the breeding area, ecological park, security department, kitchen, cleaning department, equipment department, etc. Where do you want to go? The logistics director asked Jin. Jin carefully looked through the description of these jobs in the file in front of the logistics director. The breeding area mainly breeds various animals: chickens, ducks, fish, rabbits, pigs, dogs, etc. Chickens, ducks, fish, rabbits, pigs, etc. are obviously used for eating. Chickens and ducks can also lay eggs. Dogs can guard the base, help explore the way when going out on field duty, do various early warning work, etc. The work in the breeding area is undoubtedly to feed these animals. Working in the breeding area has a certain chance of improving basic attributes such as speed, agility, hit rate, and willpower. The ecological park is to cultivate land and plant under the artificial sun. The food and vegetables in the base are grown in the ecological park. Working in the ecological park has a certain chance of improving basic attributes such as physical strength, endurance, and constitution. Needless to say, the security department patrols everywhere and protects the safety of the base. Working in the security department has a certain chance of improving basic attributes such as strength, physical strength, and endurance. The kitchen is responsible for slaughtering, washing vegetables, and cooking. These newcomers must be helping the chefs. There is a certain chance to improve basic attributes such as speed, agility, and hit rate. Needless to say, the cleaning department is responsible for the sanitation of the base, and there is a certain chance to improve the basic attribute of charm. The equipment department maintains various weapons and equipment in the base. According to the information in front of us, the base can maintain and transform some of the lowest level equipment, which requires the use of rune carving devices, and there is a certain chance to improve basic attributes such as intelligence, will, and induction. Why can working in the cleaning department improve your charm? Jin asked the director of the logistics department in a somewhat strange way. The corresponding attribute improvement of various jobs seemed far-fetched, and the improvement of charm by working in the cleaning department made Jin even more puzzled. You helped others clean the room, are they happy? The director of the logistics department glared at Jin. Happy? That's it? If others see you happy, won't your charm be improved? The director of the logistics department spread his hands. What you said makes sense. Jin couldn't help but admire the brain circuit of the game NPC. Have you chosen your job? The director of the logistics department asked Jin again. I'll go to the equipment department. Jin made a choice. After careful consideration, the equipment department should be able to learn the technology of equipment maintenance and manufacturing. Jin didn't play this game Horror City with a playful mentality, but as a job. Once the character dies, he will lose this job, so the first thing he has to ensure is the safety of this character. For a survival mobile game, Equipment is the second life. If he can learn the ability to repair and manufacture equipment, his survival ability in the game will definitely be greatly enhanced. Are you sure you want to go to the equipment department? The equipment department is very hard, and you can't earn a few contribution points even if you are tired all day. Newcomers who go to the equipment department usually can't work for even a day and come to me to change their brands. You have to think it over carefully. The director of the logistics department glanced at Jin Ke. I'm not afraid of hard work. Jin Ke smiled. The head of the equipment department, Zhang Shidao, has a bad temper. If he is not satisfied with the work, he will scold people, and his words are vicious. You can't stick to it. The director of the logistics department added a few more words. It doesn't matter. I just do my job. If he wants to lose his temper, he will lose it. I will pretend that I didn't hear it. Jin Ke is interested in the work of the equipment department and the skills he can learn. Naturally, he will not fight with an NPC old man. Take this sign and report to the equipment department. Old Zhang will tell you what to do. The director of the logistics department said nothing more. He searched in the drawer in front of him for a while, found an old sign and handed it to Jin Ke. Okay. Jin Ke took the sign and returned to the main corridor according to the map prompts. He found the branch corridor where the equipment department was located and went straight to the equipment department. The equipment department is very simple and filled with a strange smell of motor oil. It looks like a large warehouse. When the character came to the equipment department, the game popped up a few lines of text description. The equipment department of the base cannot produce equipment. It just knocks and repairs some old equipment. As for where these old equipment came from, it is not very clear. Chapter 24. Let me be frank. When Jin Ke entered, an old man in his 60s with mostly gray hair and beard was holding something like a laser welding gun and carving on some old equipment, but that thing was definitely not a laser welding gun. It should be the rune carving equipment in the data description. A wolfhound was tied to the table leg next to the old man. When he saw Jin Ke coming in, he rushed a few steps and wanted to bite him, but was tied up by the chain. In addition to the old man and the dog, there were two players squatting on the ground splicing and cutting some fur and iron sheets. They were obviously players who had just applied to work in the equipment department today. They came here before Jin Ke and had been assigned work. Jin controlled the character, took out the work card and explained his purpose to the old man. Although the old man's hair and beard were gray, he was in good spirits. When he rolled up his sleeves, he could see the muscles on his arms bulging, and his strength attribute should not be low. Jin clicked to view the old man's badge, which read Zhang Shidao, and his occupation was the head of the equipment department. You little brat, if you can't finish a day's work, don't waste my time. Zhang Shidao waved his hand impatiently at Jin without even raising his head. Woof, woof. The wolfhound beside the old man also barked at Jin unfriendly. Don't worry, I'll do my best. Jin found that the NPCs in this game all had bad tempers, but he wouldn't bother with an NPC in a game. Forget it. Every idiot who comes to work here says so. Zhang Shidao finally looked up at Jin. Two busy players squatting on the ground glanced over here, probably not happy that Zhang Shidao called them idiots, but they didn't say anything. One of the two players was named Wu Chuan, who looked very sunny and handsome, and the other was named Zhao Bo, who looked very sinister and cunning. I'll stick to it. Jin smiled and didn't care about Zhang Shidao's NPC's curse. Well, let me see what new stupidity you have reached. Zhang Shidao took Jin to the warehouse next door and asked him to move out the old and broken equipment in the warehouse. Then he gave him a hammer, steel shears and other tools, and asked him to trim the severely broken equipment into pieces and sew them onto the less broken equipment, just like the other two players. I'll be frank, if your work doesn't meet my requirements, don't even think about getting a single contribution point. If you still can't meet the requirements in 2 days, you'll be kicked out. Zhang Shidao added a few more words. Jin came to the equipment department, and the power of work assessment was in the hands of this old man Zhang. The work would be scored, and the high score would get more contribution points, while the low score would get few or even no contribution points. I will definitely try my best to do it well. Jin answered Zhang Shidao. His attitude seemed very sincere. Humphrey, smooth talk is useless. I only look at actions. Zhang Shidao still didn't say a single good word. For Jin Ke, who was sitting in front of his phone, this job was a small puzzle game. First, he had to cut the severely damaged equipment, and then piece the usable parts onto the less damaged equipment, and then nail or weld them according to the situation. But for the characters in the game, this job was really dirty, hard, and physically demanding. If you were not careful, you would hurt your hands, wrists, or arms. Then, the character would have an injured debuff on his head, and his physical strength would drop very quickly, while the basic attributes would increase very slowly. I heard from the director of the logistics department that the equipment department has a rune carving device. I can help you with the rune carving work. While Jin Ke was cutting the equipment, he intentionally chatted with Zhang Shidao. Cutting equipment was a very low-level job, and learning rune carving skills was the real reason why Jin Ke came to the equipment department. After Jin Ke finished speaking, Xiaobo and Wu Chuan, two players who were busy on the ground, looked at him with sympathy. Just do your job, don't bother me if you have nothing to do. Zhang Shidao came over and kicked Jin Ke, then walked back to his workbench. Haha. One kick each. Now I feel balanced. Me too. Wu Chuan and Xiaobo, two players who were waiting to see Jin Ke's joke, were overjoyed. It seemed that they had been kicked before for talking too much. Jin Ke shook his head and started cutting and jigsawing the old equipment at hand. Cutting and jigsawing the old equipment is a small game that requires high operation from the player. If you are not focused, you will make mistakes. If you want to do this job well, you have to concentrate highly throughout the process. It is also a great test of the willpower and patience of the players in the real world. But all of this was not a big problem for Jin Ke. Soon, a prompt appeared on his mobile phone that the plugin was activated. Jin Ke only needed to cut, jigsaw, nail, and weld the old equipment again, and then he could set the plugin to automatically do this work. After setting up the plugin, Jin Ke went to take care of Xue'er, but he would stare at the screen of his mobile phone from time to time to prevent the character from making any wrong moves. He didn't want to lose this important job because of some small accidents. What a boring job, player Wu Chuan complained, and the intensity is very high. I'm so tired. My fingers are aching. Player Xiaobo also began to complain. The director of the logistics department is right. This is indeed not a job for humans. Wu Chuan continued to complain. Let's see how many contribution points I can get after today. If it's too little, I'll quit and find another job. It's so hard. I shouldn't have too few contribution points. Who knows? If we quit after one day, the old man will definitely scold us to death. Are you afraid of being scolded if you quit? Just scold him back. This old man is very fierce. If we scold him back, I'm afraid we'll get beaten. Wu Chuan and Xiaobo muttered to each other while repairing their equipment. Jin Ke didn't participate in their discussion. With the help of the plug-in, his character in the game performed every operation very accurately like a robot. At noon, he went to the cafeteria to eat, and continued the boring and hard work in the afternoon. The working time was 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Zhang Shidao, who had been carving runes in the workshop all day, got up and took his wolfhound to the warehouse outside to start checking the work of the 3 players for the day. Is this what you've accomplished in a day? What the hell is this? Not a single thing is up to standard. Any fool is better than you. With your pig brain, you'd better go back to your mother's womb and reform yourself before you come out to harm others. After checking Xiaobo's work results, Zhang Shidao suddenly started cursing without any warning. Chapter 25. The world is too unfair. How many contribution points can I get for my work today? Xiaobo asked Zhang Shidao with an unhappy face. He had worked hard here for 8 hours today. In reality, he had been concentrating on tapping the screen of his mobile phone with his fingers all day, and now his back and hands were sore and cramped. Still want contribution points? I haven't asked you for material loss compensation yet. Get out. Zhang Shidao kicked Xiaobo. Damn it, you didn't give me a single contribution point after working hard all day, and you hit me. I'm going to complain to you. Xiaobo's eyes widened with anger, and he really couldn't accept this result. This job was so hard, and in Xiaobo's opinion, he should earn more contribution points than other jobs. Now this old man actually said that he wouldn't give any contribution points. When he went to the director of the logistics department to apply for this job in the morning, the director of the logistics department reminded him, but he didn't believe it at the time, thinking that as long as he worked hard, it would be impossible for him to not get any contribution points. But he didn't expect such a thing to actually happen. "You little brat, you are going to complain about me? Go. If you don't complain, you're an idiot." Zhang Shidao rushed over and slapped Xiaobo several times. The wolfhound beside him also whined and made a move to pounce on Xiaobo. It seemed that Zhang Shidao had been complained about more than once, but he didn't care about such complaints at all. The reason was simple: in the entire training base, only he knew the rune carving technology and only he could repair damaged equipment. Equipment was the second life of every base staff. Who would dare to offend this old man Zhang easily for the newcomers? "Fuck you, old man. I'll remember you. I'm not done with you." Xiaobo crawled out of the equipment department and cursed in the corridor outside. In other games, being fooled by NPCs would only make people laugh, but this game was different. Players had to put in real work, and being fooled like this would make them very angry. "Remember me? Come on, let's see how you remember me." Zhang Shidao rushed out with the wolfhound, and Xiaobo was so scared that he ran away from the corridor without a trace. "You little bastard, you still dare to threaten me? Go back to your mother's womb and be reborn before you come back." Zhang Shidao cursed Xiaobo's back a few more times in the corridor, and then walked back with the wolfhound. The sunny and handsome Wu Chuan stood there trembling, not daring to say a word. After a hard day's work, he was unwilling to follow Xiaobo like this, but if he continued to stay here waiting for the work acceptance, he was afraid of being scolded and beaten by Zhang Shidao. However, what was coming could not be avoided, and Zhang Shidao began to accept Wu Chuan's work. "Manager Zhang, you have worked hard. You are so wise and handsome." Wu Chuan gritted his teeth and smiled and flattered Zhang Shidao. "Don't hit a smiling person, right?" A few minutes later, "Is this a job for humans? Calling you a pig is simply an insult to pigs. I've never seen a pig as stupid as you. Why don't you go to the breeding area to work, not to feed the pigs? You're locked up in a cage and raised like a pig." Zhang Shidao angrily scolded Wu Chuan in an extremely manic manner. "I don't have any contribution points either?" Wu Chuan's voice sounded very aggrieved. With Xiaobo's previous experience, he was extremely respectful to Zhang Shidao, but he never thought he would still be scolded. After working hard all day, his attitude was still so humble. If Zhang Shidao didn't give him even one contribution point, he would have wanted to die. 5 contribution points. "If you still do so badly tomorrow, you should change to another job, pighead." Zhang Shidao didn't know whether it was because of Wu Chuan's relatively good attitude that he gave him 5 contribution points. 5 contribution points can be exchanged for 5 eggs, which means that Wu Chuan worked hard here all day, but his wages were only enough to exchange for 5 eggs. If you calculate it, he couldn't even earn back the money for lunch. "I worked hard all day, and you're just given 5 contribution points? If I still work for you tomorrow, I'll be a pig." Wu Chuan finally couldn't help but explode. "You are a pig." Zhang Shidao immediately replied to Wu Chuan. "You ... you." Wu Chuan was so angry that he almost collapsed. He wanted to curse but didn't dare to say it out loud. "What's wrong? Are you unhappy?" Zhang Shidao raised his arms high, as if he was ready to hit someone at any time. "No, you can play slowly by yourself. I won't accompany you." Wu Chuan only hated that his strength was too poor, otherwise he would have the urge to kill this NPC old man on the spot. "Get lost." Zhang Shidao suddenly kicked Wu Chuan. Wu Chuan's character was kicked in the stomach unexpectedly and fell on his buttocks. After getting up, he wanted to curse again but he held back. Zhang Shidao ignored Wu Chuan and began to inspect Jin Ke's work. Wu Chuan did not leave. His character stood a few meters away, bent over and holding his stomach, looking over here, wanting to see Jin Ke being scolded and beaten by Zhang Shidao, so that he would feel a little more balanced. Xiaobo sneaked back at some point and stood behind Wu Chuan, looking over here. People are like this. When they are unlucky, they want others to be unlucky as well. If others are more unlucky than themselves, they will feel much more balanced psychologically. Now Bo and Wu Chuan have suffered a great loss at Zhang Shidao's hands, and there is no place to seek justice. They can only hope that Jin Ke will be as unlucky as them, or even more unlucky than them, and they will feel a little better. However, Things don't seem to develop as they imagined. Zhang Shidao checked the equipment repaired by Jin Ke one by one, and the extremely ferocious enigmatic expression on his face gradually eased. "You did a good job, kid." After Zhang Shidao finished checking everything, he said something that made Wu Chuan and Zhao very discouraged. "You did a good job" would be fine, but he actually said "you did a good job." Is this kid a relative of old man Zhang? Thank you for the compliment, Director Zhang. Jin Ke had to be more polite in his attitude to earn contribution points from these NPCs. "According to your work results, a total of 156 contribution points will be settled for you today." Zhang Shidao and Jin Ke settled the accounts. "Thank you." Jin Ke was very satisfied with the result. The quality of work done by the plugin was different. If it were him, he couldn't operate so accurately, and the quality of his work would not be much higher than that of Wu Chuan and Zhao. But the plugin was different. "Damn it, I worked hard for 8 hours and only got 5 contribution points, and this guy only worked for 6 hours and got 156 contribution points. This world is too unfair. Why? I worked hard for a whole day and didn't get 1 contribution point. This player must be related to him." The real world is unfair everywhere, and there are shady dealings everywhere. I didn't expect that playing a game is not immune to this. Players Wu Chuan and Zhao couldn't see Jin Ke's joke, and they could only cry and leave together. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.